Good evening. It's Sunday night all over again, and you're back on Wordy Hour Sleep with the Parliament. As always, it's your hosts, me and Stocky. How's it going, mate?
Yeah, all good, all good. A little bit of international football tonight. No club football to spoil my mood. Life's good.
Well, I can see you're prepped and ready with the England shirt behind you as well. Came prepared.
Very, very excited. Gonna talk about lots of old players because the new players are very crap after watching yesterday.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Whether it's the players or the manager, we will get into that.
Uh,
But we have one of the other hours with us this week, and it is Samir. How's it going, bro? You good?
Yes. All good, all good. Look, I'm actually kind of looking forward to the next season. I just want to get past this international break and talk about transfers and stuff like that. That's the exciting part. I'm looking forward
Yeah.
to it. Yeah.
Be interesting to see what teams do. Again, we'll go through a little bit of the transfer talk this evening, see what's been
Yeah.
going on, a few little rumours, a couple of done deals. I don't actually think there's many done deals at all, to be honest. But
Mm.
we might as well dive straight into it. There's only 5 on the screen, but we'll talk about everybody who's been involved in transfer talk. At the minute, there's Kirkes, who's big talks of him going to Liverpool, and Buemo, which looks pretty much done to Man United. Reinders to Man City, again, pretty much done. Delap to Chelsea is definitely done. And Mike, I can never pronounce his surname right, but
Mignon.
Magnon.
see, both of you pronounce it differently, so I'm glad it wasn't me. And he is heavily rumoured about going to Chelsea. But I want to start with one thing that we know is very, very close, and that's Kepa to Arsenal for
Oh,
£5 million. Samir, what are your thoughts on this one? Because it seems a strange one to me.
yeah, it's a strange one, but not that strange. If it was to be like a number one, I think all right, yeah, we're fucking up right now. But it's to be a number two, which ain't bad. Like I was saying to my brother, like he's still better than all your keepers you have now, and like to have him as like our number two, I think that's quite big. And they signed him for what 70 mil, and we're signing him for 5 mil. For number two, I don't think that's bad, man. I thought he was alright last season at Bournemouth. If you not remember him, I actually remember a few games and he did quite well. So to have that as a number two,
Yeah,
I'm not,
yeah,
not unhappy about that at all.
yeah. But before we carry on,
Hmm.
2 quick chats have come in. Jack, who can't be with us this week, roughly 86 beers deep in Portugal. And he has one more thing to say. So, in
I'd
his
like
absence, he still had his input.
Yeah.
I'd like to say for clarification, if anyone thinks it's not 86 beers for the entire holiday so far, that's 86 beers today.
Just today, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. That is probably accurate enough. That is pretty much there. But yeah, back onto Kepa. As much as I think it's a weird deal because it's £5 million, it's from a rival,
Mm,
and he doesn't seem the type to want to go and sit and be a backup. So it just
I know.
seems very odd for me.
Yeah.
And I always assumed
Maybe
he was on massive wages, but someone's telling me that he's going to be under 100 grand a week, which is crazy.
Yeah.
um, is that how bad football is? That's not a massive wage.
Well, it's like that's a squad player wage, and you wouldn't expect Arsenal to get a keeper of Kepa's standard
Yeah.
on a squad player's wage, really, would you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a good start. I don't think he was ever as bad as the Chelsea thing. Unfortunately, he had like a 50 million price tag chucked on his shoulders that was well it was a bit unfair to his development 'cause he was still really young, weren't he?
Mm.
Yeah, he was pretty young. I did see a compilation that a Chelsea fan, posted. Might have either been today or yesterday, and it was pretty horrendous. There was probably about 20 goals on there, and I would say
Yeah.
about 15 were quite clearly Kepa's fault.
He did have a tough time at Chelsea, 100%. And I was first in line to cuss him. It happens all the time. It happens every time. Every time I cuss someone, it end up coming to my team. Every single time.
I have had that curse for so many years. Like John Joe
Yeah.
Shelby, when he got the England squad, I was like, why is he in England squad? He's rubbish. About 6 months later, he signed for
It's
Newcastle.
nice for you.
Like, I've had loads. Jack Colback, there's been so
Hey,
many.
hey. You leave Jack Cole back alone. That's amazing signing.
Over the years, I've had a ridiculous amount of those. But hey, like I say, it is probably one of the best backup keepers you could have in the
Yeah.
league.
100%. I think so too.
And while we're on the goalies, I reckon we roll on to the next couple of goalie transfers because Flecken from Brentford
Ooh.
has gone to Leverkusen, and they've got
Mm.
Kelleher from Liverpool for about £13 million, which to me again seems cheap.
Yeah, 100% cheap. 100%.
I personally, I'm livid with this because I constantly read rumours that West Ham are going for Ramsdale at 20 million. So if Kera was available at that, I'm
Mm.
feeling less optimistic for next season already, and technically this one hasn't finished.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
I proper don't get it because they've sold a 31-year-old goalie for 11 mil or something like that and spent
Mm.
£1.5 million more on a
Mm.
much younger goalie. Fair enough, he's not like proper young; he's 26 now,
Yeah.
but it's a much younger goalie for only £1.5 million more, which is like that's ridiculously good business from Brentford for me.
Yeah.
Mm. Is that like rumoured, or is it just they're waiting to sign on the dotted line?
Isn't
That's
that?
done. It's a done
Yeah,
deal.
yeah. Yeah.
Kelleher's signed.
Really?
It's done.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I find that interesting. So you'd think off like Thomas Frank would be staying then because he's rumoured to be going to Tottenham, isn't he?
Mm.
And you can't be like if a keeper signs for you, and also like quite a reputable keeper. It's not like I would say he is. I think he performed quite well
Yeah,
for
yeah, no,
Liverpool.
no
Oh, he's good.
that wasn't what I was umming and ahhing about.
Oh
I
right,
think it was
That's
more
the
the
Thomas Frank one.
yeah, it was more the Thomas Frank staying thing because I think
Yeah.
Brentford are a lot like Brighton,
they've
whereas
already
it
got it
doesn't.
lined up.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Mm,
They have a plan. They have a process. There's a way
mm,
of picking new players, and it doesn't.
mm,
It's regardless. It doesn't matter what the goalie, the manager's there, or the coach, should I say? Because I
mm.
feel they just give him the players, and he does with them
Yeah,
what he
well,
can.
yeah.
Basically, I don't think he's. I don't think the coach or the manager is that involved in the transfers.
I was just about to say that. I think Stocks has probably looked at it as in, was he involved in the negotiation? Was he selling it to him to
Mm,
come to Brentford and stuff like that? And if he did, then boy, like, how can you do all that and say, yeah, Brentford is all nice and then leave? You're
To be fair,
gonna,
it's a very good point, but I think 90% of Premier League clubs you'd have a great point. But there is a couple of clubs that
mm,
are completely different, and it doesn't matter who the coach is. The
yeah,
players are just supplied and they get on with it. And I think Brentford is
mm,
one of them, very similar to Brighton.
mm,
mm.
yeah. I think that's a great signing, by the way.
Yeah.
Before Allison came back, he was class for Liverpool.
Yeah. But
At one
it's,
point, we thought he could be number one.
yeah, 100%. I don't think anyone was really saying he should stay in instead of Allison, but it will be very interesting to see if he can be a top Premier League goalkeeper now because he's
Yeah, yeah.
shown
There we go. Yeah.
in glimpses that he can be a good backup and
Mm,
come in and play well for 10 games. But
yeah.
playing well for 38 games of a season is a completely different thing for a
That's very
goalkeeper.
true. Yeah.
Like we've got Martin Dubravka as a number two, who's a great number two, who's great
Oh,
for 5, 6, 7 games on the trot. But you ask him to play a full season, by game 15, he's starting to look a liability again.
he was in a similar role to that as well in terms of when he had to come in, he did well, and
Yeah.
then when Pope came back, you threw him straight to the bench to the point where you even offered him a new contract and wanted him to stay. Like when Pope was out, and you thought, yeah, this could potentially be your number one. It's quite harsh, isn't it?
Well, he was on his way out. Mitchell, who's now left, wanted him out.
Mm,
Howell wasn't on board with it after we got to I think he played both semis. So
yeah.
after we got to the Carabao Cup final, Howell wanted him to stay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, because he was good.
Yeah.
He was
He
good.
does well, but he's a fill-in. He's like whenever he's played consistently, like even
Yeah.
when he first joined, his debut as he gets Man United, he was unbelievable. For
Yeah.
his first half a season, he was unbelievable, and then the slide came and he went downhill. And then we brought in Pope, and every time he's come in for 5, 6 games, he's been unbelievable. But every time he's had to play 10, 15 on the trot, you get to game 8, 9, and the slide starts coming again, and he starts going reverting back to his sort of little bit of a liability.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you said, isn't it? It's different playing 10, 11 games compared to 38. So, yeah, I see that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
To be fair, Brentford have also signed Michael Coyote from Fiorentina at right back. So they've done a couple of decent bits of business straight off the bat.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
Right.
Good little signing, that.
Mm.
Well, it's always good to get your signings in before you sell your asset for big money, because
Mm.
when everyone knows you've got 50 million or whatever on
Oh,
promo
yes,
goes,
yes, yes.
things get very difficult. Like
Mm.
the tax, like there's so many instances of it, like throughout history. Like, funny enough, quite a lot of them at Tottenham. Like when they got the Bale money
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they squandered, like, all right, they got a couple of good ones in, but
Mm.
there were some less good ones as well. Like,
Yeah.
and players get more expensive quite simply because everyone knows, well,
You
they
know,
got money in the kitty.
yeah.
Well,
Everybody knows you've
perceived
got
to.
a pocket full of money, so they
Yeah,
can't.
exactly. Hey, we just saw that 85 mil coming into your bank.
Yeah. You can't hide that one from us.
You can't hide that one. That's all over the news. We see that. That's very true.
To be fair, scrolling through, there isn't an awful lot of like completely done deals.
It's good.
I think West Ham have made Tadibo permanent. I didn't even know that was a loan. That's in my
Who?
list of done deals.
Yeah. Funny enough, it could be right. So it was a clause that was activated through the amount of games he appeared in. So whether or not we actually still want him is irrelevant. He's signed. It's not beyond the realms of possibility that we will sign him and he'll go straight out. We could
Was there
sell him.
obligation to buy it? And
Yeah.
having
So
a pay
Wow.
he
certain.
played
Has he not
X
been good
amount
for
of
you
games.
then? Because there was massive hype around him last year, and he was one that was quite high up on my list of centre backs that I would have wanted at Newcastle.
It's funny. A lot of people don't like him.
Mm.
I don't think he's quite as bad as made out by some West Ham supporters, but for the money, I've not been overly impressed. He's been all right, but generally we've had a poor defence all year.
Yeah.
I think what worries a lot of people is he just he'd always come off after 60 minutes and things like that, and like we're bringing Mavropanos on, which ain't helping much either. So it's been an odd one. I had hopes. Obviously, I'm an FM child,
Mm.
so
Yeah. Wonder
he's
Kid.
mustard in that, and I'm like, oh please, please, can we have like one of these really good players? But
Yeah.
it's not quite panned out that way. But you never know. Fingers crossed.
Why is he coming off in the 60th minute? Is it fatigue or just putting up or, every game or something?
He said, yeah, he's kind of like a couple of times he said he was knackered.
Mm.
He's had fitness troubles. Like, he's an interesting sort of athlete because he walks the whole game
Mm.
because that's just his style. Then all of a sudden he's got a sprint. He's nippy when he wants to move, but he really tries to avoid it as much as he can. So, and the Premier League, you don't get a minute, and West Ham are usually chasing shadows anyway, so no wonder he's fucked.
Fair enough. Fair enough. On a similar type of theme, Tottenham have made Damso permanent from Lens. Probably the biggest transfer that's gone through in the Prem so far. Mateus
I didn't
Cunha.
know that was even a loan. I thought
Yeah,
it
it
was.
was. That was all. That was always
Oh,
widely
okay.
touted as a loan when he came in. I think he only came in Jan, didn't he? So they had him on
Yeah.
a six-month loan, and they've just made that permanent.
Yeah, he's not bad to be fair.
Biggest one so far. One that I'm actually a little bit upset about. Mateus Cunha to Man United from Wolves, £62 million, which is it's a great signing, but for me, it feels overinflated price wise.
For the
Yeah, and I'm not sure how he fit fits into Man United.
Yeah, I don't.
Like they need him in about 4 or 5 different positions.
Yeah,
Because
Yeah.
they're so crap. Where's he
Mm.
going to
Surely he's
play?
going to play one of them tens though. If
I
he's
think.
not going to play one of them
Yeah,
tens, they've spent the wrong
yeah.
amount. Definitely spent the wrong amount of money on him.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
it's
you're
my
right.
front. If they don't sign a striker, they could possibly try sticking my front. I don't see it, but
I think it'd just be a waste. I think it'd be a waste of everything else
They
he does
can't.
to play him as a nine.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm. They wouldn't be able. They wouldn't be able to feed him.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
They wouldn't be able to feed him enough
yeah.
if he played.
Bruno will try, but there's no one else.
I think they want him as, like as Mitch says, one of the tens because he's very good at carrying the ball. He's always been that at his
Yeah,
other clubs.
yeah.
It's just this year his final product has probably pushed that price up so much.
yeah.
What I don't get is how, like, I get this Man United, but like the reason for him leaving, he was basically saying mid-season, "Oh, I want to play in Champions League. I want to be up there, like playing for the teams that are up there, like top 6 in the league and stuff." But going to Man United, I understand it's Man United, but if you look at where they are now, no Champions League.
Money,
Uh,
money, money,
yeah, of
money.
course, of course. But you can't have all that talk about, oh, I want to play Champions. You're basically like Wolves finished above United.
Yeah,
Am
I
I?
get that. But then when like say Newcastle and Arsenal reached out to him and said, "All right, we want to come. We'll pay the £62 million,
Mm,
but we're only going to give you 150 a week."
mm.
And then his agent, Man United, call him up and go, "We're also going to pay the £62 million, but we're going to give him
Oh
£225,000
yeah,
a week."
he's gone. He's gone United. Yeah,
What are you going to do? Like in
yeah.
any walk of life, you're going to go,
200.
I'm going to get 75 grand a week more with Man
Mm,
United. And
yeah.
that might not have been the numbers, that might not have been the exact discussion, but I'm guessing that's sort of roundabouts of what's happened. Whoever else was interested,
Yeah.
even if there was anybody interested at that fee,
Mm.
then it makes sense. It also could have been that, say, I'm going to use Newcastle as an example, called up Wolves and said, Ronaldo's just equalised, by the way, and
Oh,
said, we only want to pay £50 million for him. And Man United have gone, nah, we'll pay the release clause. And Newcastle have just gone,
Mm.
well, safe. We're not paying £62.5 million
yeah,
for you.
yeah. That's probably how it went. To be fair.
So either one of them things has happened and he's ended up at Man United. It's a
Mm,
risk, but hey, see how it goes. They're going to have if they sign the players that have been touted
mm.
and they don't really let anybody go, there's going to be a lot of decisions to be made because they're quite close to Mbuemo, apparently, who is
Yeah.
a left wing forward and they don't play left wing forwards. He's also going to have to play in one of them number 10s. They're clearly looking at a number 9 because they've been linked with Gokares. They've also been linked with Calvert-Lewin over the last few days.
What?
So
Wait. Oh,
they're
please let
also
him
looking at a number 9.
sign. Please let him sign him.
So if they do not sell someone like Bruno Fernandes, they're
He's
set with 3 number 10s for 2 positions. One of them
yeah.
number 10s is
Mm.
actually not a number 10. And
Mm,
it's going to be such a weird squad to piece together, I think. And there's so much more they need to do. They need a number 6 or a number 8 with legs. They
yeah.
need another centre back. Their goalie's pretty crap as well. So there's a lot of work to do, but it does look like they're throwing money at it, which feels like they're going all in.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it's weird that one though, isn't it? Because like you said, they got to sell. They got to sell a few.
Well, they don't this year.
No.
The rumor is they can spend up to about £200 million or £250 million, and then they don't have to worry about it until all the way till about just before the end of next June.
That's good then.
So
That's right.
and even then, if they have a great run and they get Champions League, it
Mm,
then negates how much they then have to sell, even when they get to that point. So it looks like they're going fully all in.
yeah, that's the shit. That's not bad then.
Mm. On the other side of that transfer, tough for Wolves. They're losing Cunha. Out Nouri's widely reported to be going to Man City for like around 32.
Yeah.
Mm,
Like they 2 standout performers for Wolves last year.
Mm-hmm.
And a manager that done really well. Like I can understand why they're going, but you'd hope Wolves have have been planning for this. Like I'm sure they have, but to lose your 2 best players, you hope they've got something lined up because I thought they were quite good. the back end of last season when the new manager came in.
Yeah.
He was excellent.
Totally
What,
agree. with
34 mil though? Do you think Newcastle kind of not Newcastle, Man City kind of like bullied them in negotiation or something? That's
There
pretty
must,
cheap. to me.
there must be something in there. There must be something underlying that we don't know about for him to
Yeah,
only go
because
for
that's
34 mil.
cheap as hell.
Mate, it might be a gentleman's handshake. Say he might have had like offers. They might have had offers mid-season, like in January, and they're like, well, and he's like, all right, well, what if I stay till the end of the season, make sure we stay up, then
Yeah.
if evaluation hit, and we'll shake hands on it.
Yeah, but 34. Like
It's
I'm thinking if Wolves ask for 50, I think
Well, you don't know how long his contract's got left. So
oh,
if it's only got a year or two,
yeah, that's another one. Didn't see
he
that.
could just ride it out and go for free, couldn't he?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's a very good
That's probably
point.
probably the case then.
June
See how
26.
long-
Yeah, so he's only got a year left.
Oh, okay, there we go. That's the answers there then.
He has
Yeah.
only got a
So
year
when you
left.
look at it like that,
But
Yeah.
34 mil for one of the best left backs, stroke left wing backs in the league, who's only 24 years old, is a bit of a snip. Considering they're floating around Livramento, and we've basically turned around and said to him, "Get near 100 million, and we'll let you have him."
Fucking hell.
I think Nori's a bit underrated, to be honest.
Oh yes,
I think so too.
he's a fantastic player.
He's good, yeah.
He's
It's just
quality.
one of them
Like,
ones.
Man
God.
City are doing making some scary noises for me.
Very scary.
I don't like it.
it.
Genuinely don't like it. Ryan Cherky,
Yeah.
Reinders, who's in the picture. If they piece this team together and it works,
It could be domination.
if they play a 4-2-3-1,
Hmm.
with them two flying fullbacks, they have to get another centre back. I feel Reinders and Rodri sitting deep, and then you've got Savinio, Marmouche, and Cherky behind Haaland.
Yeah,
Like, what the hell is that?
We could be screwed.
that's
is
turned into a
frightening.
little.
Screwed.
That's an FM team.
Yes, it is. It
frightening.
really is. It really is. They could do awful damage to us, with that one. With Pep as well being
As
he's
we
going
was-
to be ruthless this next season.
Yeah, we've prodded him. We've given. He's had some pelters for 12 months, so now they could be the rat.
He's breaking it with stick.
Man's coming back like Thanos.
He said,
Yeah,
Don't let me collect that last ring, bro, because it's going off.
blood.
I mean, you're right, admin. If you could get the Infinity Gauntlet with a picture of Pep and all of that.
Oh, yeah, that would be sick. That would be sick. He's coming for us all.
You know exactly what I'm going to be doing as soon as we wrap this evening.
Yeah, God. I hope your boss don't watch this because you can't ever get any work done these days.
Don't worry. I'm still the most productive person there. Don't worry about
that. Speaking of left backs at El Nori, we might as well go on to Kerkeres because if Man City are getting him for 34, how much are Liverpool supposed to be getting for Kerkeres? I think it's excellent, but is he going to be worth double? El Nori, I suppose El Nori, as we said, the contract situation defines the price a little bit, but they're both excellent.
I'm going to guess 60, around 60 mil. I've not really looked, but I'm going to guess around 60. If anything less, oh my God, fuck.
Everything I've seen says they're struggling to meet Bournemouth's price.
Yeah.
No one's really... No.
So there's not been
45. It looks like they're looking for about 45.
What? Bournemouth are looking for 45.
That's what it says. It says the 21-year-old is valued at £45 million, and Bournemouth is firm on that price.
What?
Yeah, that might be a wrong number. I would say that he'd probably go for a little bit more than that because I would bracket him in with someone like Livramento, someone like Lewis Hall. Who we paid just below that to get them to Newcastle before they'd done anything.
Yeah.
Now they're performing, we'd want 10, 15, 20 million pound more than that.
Yeah.
Minimum.
We said, we spoke about this before, top 3 left backs in the league.
And Bournemouth don't need money. They've just sold Dean Howson for £50 million. It looks like, what's the other guy? Zabani could also be off.
Yeah, but they would have
massive money for him as well.
If they had a choice, I think they would have asked for a lot more, but it was a release clause, isn't it? The 50 mil.
Yeah, 50 million was set release.
It was a release clause, yeah. So
do you know what though? Do you know what? Sometimes you just go, yeah, we've had an excellent player for a year, increased our profile, we made a fat wedge on him. Yeah. Look, he was too good for us in the first place. like these things happen.
Yeah,
But that's great. Stuff like that is fantastic for Bournemouth because what they
it
could do
is.
now is any of them players that are fringe players at big clubs, they can go look what we've just
Yeah,
done for Howson.
Pogba Bournemouth. Yeah.
Come and play for this manager. He'll put you in the spotlight. If we play really well, you could nick a massive move, and we won't hold you back. We'll let you go.
Mm. Can you imagine, like, a few years back, you're thinking a Bournemouth have sold a player to Real Madrid? Like,
It's mad, isn't it?
it's crazy. Just hearing it, it's just fucking. It sounds crazy. Bournemouth sending a player to, yeah, it just shows you how far the Premier League's going, and it's only going to get scarier.
It was like that when West Ham loaned him Faubert.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that was that
Oh
was one
yeah!
of the most
Oh my god!
crazy things.
That was so weird. That was so
Vin Diesel went to Real Madrid.
Oh mate, yeah, that was
Oh
he
my
was rubbish for
god!
yous.
He was so rubbish.
And then he went to Real and it was just like, what the hell? It's just
Oh, oh, that is mad. I'm crying. That is flipping mad. I totally forgot about that. I totally forgot about all that. What a weird signing.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
they signed
Howson's got some big boots.
I remember they signed what was it, Adebayor as well. One time. I think it was from Tottenham.
Yeah.
And he could barely do kick-ups in that
Oh
presentation.
yeah. When they do the presentation, he was doing like it was like a 12-year-old who just started playing football trying to do kick ups.
Yeah.
Shitters and all sorts. Oh,
Comedy shit.
Terrible stuff. You've got to save that for the street ballers from the favelas where they're doing
Yeah, obviously.
rainbow
Can't
flicks and
afford
stuff.
it anyway.
Not just standard football players. You can't do that for everybody. Not a chance.
Oh, dude.
But it seems like Bournemouth are getting a little bit picked to pieces here because it looks like Kirkus is going, Huyson's definitely gone. There's talk of Zabani going to PSG.
Oh yeah.
There's been loads of talk around Cliver. Also talk about Semenyo. So they could literally get picked to pieces this summer.
Yeah, I don't like that.
unfortunately, that's the way. Like, it's a shame,
Yeah.
but you got to think at some point. I know, like for us, sort of. So what we got? We got Newcastle, West Ham, Arsenal here,
Mm.
and we're like, oh well, Bournemouth. Oh, it's a shame they're like a little club. You got to think that they've picked them players, offering them massive wages compared to the clubs they were at.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the ecosystem, innit?
Mm.
Like they signed Porto, signing like star striker for 50 million.
Yeah.
So we can't,
That was
swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, it's definitely not little old Bournemouth anymore. They might still play in a bit of a mud out of a
Nah.
stadium, but they're a proper Premier League side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, again, but everyone knows they got money.
Yeah.
Do that. You got to have the next ones lined up. It's hard to keep doing it all the time. You get some stinkers eventually, don't you?
That's what I'm saying.
It's very difficult to keep rejuvenating. Trying to rejuvenate 3 of your back 4. Well,
Yeah, that's
4
gonna be
because
chaos.
Kepa's going Arsenal, so the goalie's
Oh yeah,
going as well.
yeah. So that's another
that's
thing.
4
Keepers.
back
Oh
5.
my god. Oh my god.
That's a big ask.
Oh yeah, their transfer is gonna be. It's gonna be. Yeah, it'll be. I think it'll be hard for them to get them caliber players again. Like the names we said, they're actually names we knew before they got to Bournemouth, or like up and coming. So you like stocks. You'd say on Football Manager, you would hear some of these. You'd see some of these players as wonder kids and stuff. And then when they actually go to Bournemouth, you're quite shocked. Are they going to do that again? That's the question. I think they can. I think they
I
potentially
think they
can.
kind of have to because they've got to take. They're not really in a position to get the established players of a similar quality, if you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
someone of Kirkus' quality who's 28 is already going to be established as a top player. So you're not going to
Mm,
get that. The same with Howson and Zabani. They're
yeah.
both young players. So it's going to be players they're going to have to take a bit of a gamble on.
Yeah.
They can get them a little bit closer to their potential.
Mm. So you think they'll go like a step higher than that?
No,
In
I think they'll do the same again. They'll be shopping in
similar?
between I think 19 to 22 bracket of players who are
Oh,
that have had a little bit of a breakout, but are
yeah.
really to push on towards their max potential over the next couple of years.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they'll be shopping for. They'll be shopping for players that's a little bit similar to that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Or like proper youth prodigies that are at massive clubs that can't break through because there's just too many players in the way.
Mm.
And they'll try and nab one of them who's like that better one of them. And again, it's a bit of a gamble, but it's an educated gamble, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. You got to take them gambles they did this season, and they almost made Europe. So they just got to keep pushing because I like Bournemouth. Man. I like Bournemouth.
Yeah,
Yep.
they're all right. It's just we never beat
Yeah.
them. That's the reason I don't really. I
No,
wouldn't
they
say I
did the double
like
on
them.
us. They
Yeah,
did the double on us as well. So
yeah. No, but we literally never beat them. Eddie Howe has never beaten Bournemouth in the Premier League.
he's doing that on purpose. He's doing it on
It's
purpose.
annoying. It's the most annoying thing ever. Them and Brighton, and it's just like, will you two just get relegated and go away? We
Yeah,
can't beat either of you. It's so annoying.
yeah. There's a lot of
But no,
teams.
I don't mind them. I just won't say I like them until we can start
Yeah,
beating them.
yeah. Until you beat them. Yeah, I
Yeah,
get
yeah.
that.
At that point, I can say that I like them. Right, Liverpool have done a little bit of business. Trent's gone. Jeremy Frimpong has come in for £30 million. That's interesting.
Upgrade.
Really? Defensive wise, yeah.
I think
Defensive wise, a
depending,
little bit.
I think the way that Slot's going to play next season, I think it's an overall upgrade.
Mm.
Trent is one of the best attacking right backs in the league, but he's best at attacking by inverting. I don't think Slot really wants that. He'll want someone to get
Overlap.
around and
Yeah,
beyond Salah to save
yeah.
his legs even more so that he can just keep producing goals and assists. And that is exactly what Jeremy Frimpong is going to do.
Yeah. They're
He,
gonna miss out on
he
that.
will lock down that right hand side.
Yeah. He's absolutely.
He-
His energy levels are similar to a Tino Livramento, who is just non-stop. He attacks just as not. Frimpong's a lot more efficient attacking wise, but as in getting up and down the pitch, that is very much a Jeremy Frimpong thing.
Yeah, but Trent though, the amount of times he saved them with these unbelievable passes and that, you're missing out
Uh,
a lot because he's done that a few times this season where he's just got him out of trouble. With
It
these
creates a different threat, though, doesn't it? It
It
takes away
does, it
one
does.
threat, but it creates a different threat. Imagine having a fullback that overlaps Mo Salah when they're trying to double up on him and triple up on him that they have to go with.
Yeah, but crossing it to who? That's the question. Crossing it to Jota's good in the air, but
Clearly, they're
Yeah,
going to be in the
but
market for
there's-
a striker, though, aren't they?
yeah, maybe. That's that.
I think. Sorry, I know. I know everyone talks about his offensive capabilities in Alexander Arnold, but his defending is not good,
Yeah.
and Slot plays four at the back, and it's just not good enough. Also, you have Van Dijk's getting on. Konate's all right pace wise, but that extra recovery pace as well.
Yeah.
Because with
yeah,
that,
yeah.
they could adjust where the line plays, how high the line goes, because that he is rapid.
Yeah.
And also, if Trent wanted to move on, then it doesn't matter what he can do. If he don't want to be there, he don't want to be there. So what
Yeah.
they've done is just really, I think, could prove to be a bit of a snip. Not that 30 million is ever going to be a snip, but I think there could be good value in that for Liverpool.
Oh, yeah. 100% agree on that.
Yeah, I agree, but I just think there's going to be a lot missing
I
compared
don't
to
think.
what they had
I
last season.
think it would just be a different style rather than they're missing something. And also, I'm
Yeah,
going to use
it's a
one of my new terms that I learned on a stream the other week. That he's a big space player.
Big
and,
space.
and Liverpool need that. It baffled me at the time. But I love it as a term to be used now.
I'm trying to think.
It's basically just a player that covers a crazy amount of ground.
Okay, yeah.
And that is very much Jeremy Frimpong. And when he's up forward, you've got Konate, who is also of a similar mould that can cover the gaps when he's got. And also, if you think
I
about
cover a
it,
big space of grandness these days. Sign me up, someone. Sign me up.
if you think about it in terms of adaptability as well, they could also play him and Bradley together because Frimpong can play high and wide on the right.
I forgot about him.
So if they need to shut up shop and be a lot more solid, they can bring in Conor Bradley. Frimpong can play in front on the right-hand side. And if they really wanted to, Mo Salah could just play as a 9 for the game.
So are we going? So are we saying we're going Frimpong over Conor Bradley?
At the stage they're at now, I'm a
Mm,
little bit disappointed for Conor Bradley because I
yeah,
felt that next season was going to
Mm.
be his year. He really
I
showed what
probably
he's
thought
all
so too.
about. But
Yeah,
the levels they're at this exact point in time, yes, I'm going for him over Bradley.
Mm.
but if you're going into like say first 5 games, you got Bradley who knows the Premier League, but then you've got Frimpong who doesn't. Wouldn't you like slowly bring him in and start
No,
with Conor Bradley?
I think
He
he's that
knows.
kind of
He
powerful,
knows.
explosive player. I don't think it matters either way.
Mm. I wouldn't be surprised though. I wouldn't be surprised if they did if he didn't start the first 5 games because Conor Bradley knows the tactics. He knows he's played with the squad instead of having to. Well, to be fair, he's going to have a whole preseason. To be fair, from Frimpong to learn. So
Yeah, no, it's a very
yeah,
fair point. To be fair,
yeah.
very
I
fair
wouldn't be
point.
surprised if they did go with because he's good. I forgot about him. Completely forgot about him.
Yeah, he's a very good player. I
He is
really
good.
like Conor Bradley. Really
Yeah.
like Conor Bradley as a player.
Right.
We're sort of running out of done
Ooh.
deals. The other main one is Delap.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely need a conversation on that.
Actually, before we go on to Delap, let's talk about the man on the right of this picture, Florian Wirtz, who about a week ago looked like it was a done deal to Liverpool,
What?
but it's kind of shaking a little bit now. Looks like there's unsteady waters there. They can't agree a fee, and it's not looking as plain sailing as it was a few days ago or up to a
Really?
week
I
ago.
thought
Yeah.
it, I thought it was almost that. Here we go with what's his name, Fabrizio. Oh,
If
okay.
he's done it, here we go. He might be wanting to retract it because there was news coming out today that the second bid has now been rejected as well,
Oh,
and it
Wow.
it wasn't a consideration. It said second bid instantly rejected.
like, are they not past? Like, it's like 120 mil almost. No,
It's,
the
it's,
first
it's
bid.
in and around that now,
Mm.
Oh shit.
but
Cutting
Leverkusen
half
have
off.
said the second bid. So
Ooh, that's awesome.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Because he is mustard,
yeah,
but
He's my son.
it's starting to get into crazy. It's getting to the point of super high money, which means
Yeah.
you need a super high return,
yes,
Mm.
and that could jeopardize it.
hmm
I don't see Liverpool with a number 10 though. That's the thing.
But this is what I've been saying for months. Yeah,
Mm.
everybody's been lauding Slot, and I've been saying yes, fantastic. He won the league. I'm not playing it down at all. But
Mm.
this is not Slot's way of playing football.
Mm.
If you know anything about Arnie Slot, all he did was tweak Klopp's way of playing for this season, and next season he's going to want to play his own style. It's not the same football.
Mm.
Oh, so what? He plays with a number 10.
Pretty
Okay.
much most of the time he
All right.
plays with a
Oh,
10.
makes sense.
I gave him plaudits because he has done what Amarim should have done. Came in and found the best way to play with the players that he had to win games, and he went and won the
Mm.
league.
Mm.
He didn't try and implement his system straight away because obviously he didn't feel like the players were
Oh
ready to
yeah.
do it. And he
Yeah.
waited for a whole season, and now he will try and implement it.
Yeah.
So a
100%.
number 10 does fit with what Slot wants to do. He'll play with a base two midfield with one in front, and that'll be Wirtz if they get him.
That would be a whole different Liverpool, though, man. I think the flat three worked for them, no?
It did, but they'll play a similar system to what I think Man City are looking to do now.
Mm.
Mm. Oh, two sitting and
Yeah.
one just floating. Yeah.
It'll be one that properly sits, a controller, and then one in front.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So we go back to the City one. So City, reckon City should be going for him as well, no? Because are they not after a number 10 now? De
Well, their
Bruyne.
number 10 their number 10 stroke second striker will be Omar Marmoush, won't it?
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. All
And
right,
then
now.
he'll be flanked by either Doku, Silvino, and Cherky. So,
Mm.
and them three will
It's
rotate
crazy.
massively, but Marmoush will be the guy that's just behind Haaland.
Yeah. Okay, I see why they won't go for him. Yeah. But yeah, he's a good player, man. I'm slightly worried about that Liverpool getting him.
Both of
But
them teams are pretty terrifying
yeah,
when you write them down on paper now.
100%.
Pretty, because all they bring in Verts, it makes it a lot harder to double up on Salah.
Mm.
Mm.
Because all he'll do is pop it off to Verts. He's literally one of the players he'll be playing triangles with, so he can just pop it off to him and go again. So it makes them a lot harder to stop.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah, it's very true.
So yeah, it's be interesting stuff. In fact, I'm going to roll back to this picture because we're going to Chelsea. The lap done. I think this is a fantastic bit of business. Like they've signed him for £30 million, I think it is. 22 years old. He's come off a decent season at Ipswich, but I genuinely think this guy is primed to be England's number 9 very soon, and he will be until he decides he doesn't want to do it anymore. He is exceptional.
Mm-hmm.
And I
I
hate this. I hate this so badly.
I get that. He does seem to me like he's definitely someone you would like in your team. I just look at Chelsea. I just think, yeah, it's a good signing, but to be your number one, I don't think that's a number one. I don't think that's a Chelsea striker.
Really?
Honestly, yeah, I don't think that's going to get Chelsea up the league.
I'm going to nail my colours to the mast very early here and say this guy gets 20 Premier League goals next season.
I'm saying less than 10. I'm saying less than 10.
Plus
That's
20
20.
plus.
That's
He
crazy.
he got 12 for Ipswich.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Though. That's like playing for Ipswich. You got no pressure. Oh my gosh! So we were looking at the like his goals, all 12 goals, and yeah, they were like goals against Villa, goals against Wolves. Like none of us top six. He didn't score against any of us the top six. Maybe even top. No, I'm about to say top 10, but no. But like,
Yeah, but it was at Ipswich.
yeah, no, I get that. I
But
get that.
he was
But
at
it's
a
not
team
like
that got relegated and he got
I know, but
12
he
Premier
didn't
League
like.
goals.
It's like Timo Pukki. We and I get age and stuff like that, but we weren't like, oh, please sign this guy. He's gonna change our lives. Like
Uh,
Liam Delap did well at a team at Ipswich. Now he's going to Chelsea, who are playing Champions League football. The I don't think he is
I
that guy
think
to bring him up. I
I
personally don't.
feel like you're speaking more out of hope than
Maybe maybe.
believing what you're actually
No,
saying
actually,
here.
no. I just don't think it's like it's crazy to say, but is he that better than Jackson?
Yes,
You have to be better
Yeah.
than Jackson. No, you got to be way
miles.
better than
He's
Jackson.
miles better than
A
Jackson.
better player, but effective wise, I don't know. I don't think
Trust
he's going
me,
to score more than Jackson.
you'll see this guy's different.
He's a lot more
I know.
physical,
I've seen. Yeah,
a
he
lot
is.
more
He
than
is.
Jackson. He's
He
going to incorporate Palmer into the game more because the lap can actually hold people off and
Mm.
keep the ball. And do you know what? If it ain't working, you bring on Jackson to stretch the game a bit more.
He's shit too. So not shit too, but like that makes me seem
It'll be
I
disgusting.
interesting to
understand when you
see.
say they're shit, but it's managers want different ways of doing things. You need B plans, and Chelsea have got a lot of
It's
somehow
For
got
me,
money.
it's not, man. Chelsea's had like, if we go to the past, we've had Drogba, we've had Diego Costa. They're two players who changed Chelsea, like when they were struggling. And that's the type of strikers that I truly believe they need. I don't think a Liam Delap will change things to them. It could
I don't
possibly
think there's any
go to a
strikers like
different
that out there.
direction.
Yeah,
Say that again?
I don't think there's too many strikers like that out there. And if they are, they're
they're not available.
they're not Chelsea haven't
Yeah,
got
there
that
is.
money for it.
Look,
So Drogba they bought back then for like what is it? Is in the 20s.
yeah,
I think
and
it
that
was
was big.
22. I think.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was big back then.
yeah, and like who's and like, even then, like he was good, but he was at Marseille. It weren't like everyone he was the next big thing.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
turned himself into that player.
Into the yeah.
So
Yeah,
I think is a good sign. And ultimately, that's the kind of way Premier League football is now. I think the lap's got tremendous potential, and the way football is, like 30 millions, like
It's a
it's a nice price. I don't
it's a
think.
drop in the water for a starting number 9 of a top 4 Premier League club.
mm,
Mm,
When you think about it, especially when you look at some of the players in this next image here, because you've got Gokares, Sesko, and Hugo Ekitike, who
that's
are
what I
all
mean.
rumored to be coming to the league. Gokares, we don't know where he's going yet. There's talks of loads of clubs. Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool have been rumored.
Mm,
He's probably been linked to Chelsea at some point as well. He's been linked to Newcastle just because he plays with Visaka international duty. So he could come to the Premier League. He's going to be 70, 80 million pound, if not more. Sesko,
mm,
similar, very much heavily linked with Arsenal. I
mm.
actually personally think he's more of a Liverpool number 9 than an Arsenal number 9, but he's going to be a
I
similar
see that.
amount of money.
I see
Hugo
that.
Ekitike, again, plays off the left a bit, does also play through the middle for Frankfurt. But again, he's going to be 50, 60 million pound. I would, apart from Gokares, I would put my money on the lap more than I would Sesko or Hugo Ekitike to get me goals as a 9 in the Premier League.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I don't know about Sesko too much, as in like really get that many goals, but I think what's his name? Can't even pronounce his name. Enter Kie, what's the one from Frankfurt? What's his name?
Ekitike.
Yeah, him. I think he could possibly do a job. He reminds me of like what's his name? Gakpo.
He is a bit.
It reminds me of him.
He's a weird one. He's very like tall, wiry, strong, skillful at the touch. Do you know who he really reminds me of? He reminds me of an upgraded version of Frederick Canute. He's like very similar in he's very similar in his build and the way that he plays, but he's a lot more he's a lot more smooth with what he does.
Okay, yes.
And he's just like a better version of what Frederick Canute was.
Yeah, when you say that, then I get that. Yeah, that's
Quite good.
Yeah.
But and Frederick Canute was a decent Premier League striker.
He was.
I actually think Ekitike could go on to be very, very special.
The question is for who though, isn't it? That's the
Well, again, he's rumored to be Liverpool strongly linked with him, which makes them even more frightening.
yeah.
Because that's just a joke to have that much firepower going forward. But outside of that, I'm not sure. He was linked with us before we got Isaac. He was the guy that said no to us before we got Isaac. So that's the only reason I know so much about him.
Thank God he said no, innit?
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ!
Thank God he said no, bloody hell!
Yeah.
What? No way!
PSG came in and stole him away, and it's one of the best things that happened to Newcastle in a very long
No
time.
way, man! Nah, how lucky can you get?
Yeah,
honestly,
we were devastated at the time as well because most Newcastle fans were very sold on him.
Yeah,
we was all very much watching compilation video after compilation video and wanted him badly. But hey, sometimes every cloud and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that pretty much covers.
No, we didn't talk about Jerky. What's his name?
Cherky. Yeah, we spoke about Cherky briefly when we was talking about City's frightening potential lineup.
Yeah.
Like he's weirdly talent wise, I'd put him on a similar level to Wirtz, even though he's going to be about a fifth of the price.
Yeah, Leon, they're in dire straits, so I think he's the most saleable asset.
Did they not get? I don't know if it's true, but did Leon get banned for free transfer window or something like that?
No idea.
I heard they got banned or some shit like that. I don't know if it's real or not. So.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. If it, like I think he's going to be a fantastic. He is a fantastic player. There is a lot of talk that his attitude might not be 100% it. It might not be.
Pep
his work rate might not be 100% it. There's a touch of people who are comparing him to players like Hazard and Ben Arfa that are hyper talented, but away from the pitch, they just want to do whatever they want.
Oh, okay.
And that could be his downfall, but it's all rumours, isn't it? You don't know. We'll never find out because he might go to City and all of that stuff still might be swept under the carpet.
Pep's gonna beat that out of him, man. He's gonna be like,
look at Grealish.
Oh yeah, shit. That's true though.
No, it's not instantly going to be a switch, and the switch might not ever flip because Grealish is still Jack Grealish. He'll still go out and get can't walk drunk at times.
Yeah.
Like he was like it at a parade for Man City before, and it's like some players just don't get out of that mentality. And Pep can only do so much.
Yeah, he'll drop you if you want to make it. He's 21. You want to make it? Listen, you gotta be serious. Jack Grealish is in almost near his 30s, and he's played a lot of football. So yeah, he's got to listen. He's got to listen.
Right, let's do the last little bit on transfers before we move on. Stocky, West Ham. I had a little dig through, couldn't really find an awful lot. Is there much going on? Much noises around your transfers at the minute?
Yeah, there's one player in particular that we're linked with, heavily linked with. I've read 90% done. Josh Brownhill on a free transfer.
Josh Brown.
Okay.
Oh my God, Josh
Amazing signing.
Brownhill.
Amazing signing.
Um,
Uh,
so he had an excellent season for Burnley. Funny enough, he's been linked with us probably for the last 3 or 4 summers. And I never, I think maybe his agent supports West Ham or something, because like it's linked every summer, but he's on a free and looks like that's happening. I find it a bit weird in that mm, we're supposed to be upgrading our players, and I'm not sure how much of a upgrade. Like he's a good,
He's
honest player, but
alright.
maybe like
He's alright.
sorry, but all I can
oh,
think of now is that Josh Brownhill is going to be the new Jeff Hendrick in one of our groups.
Oh shit.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
um, yeah. I find it. I don't.
Christ,
Whatever, whatever, in it. Whatever. I've just got. To
Christ.
let it happen and
Nothing you can do.
just, just keep an eye. Do you know what it feels like? Remember when Newcastle signed Chris Wood from Burnley just to make sure that they went down?
Yeah.
I feel like we're getting Burnley skipper on a free just to just give him a little rabbit punch in the kidney.
Yeah, so yeah, it's true. True. Get rid of all the threats.
Yeah,
Get rid of the threats.
yeah.
So that's a weird one. I'm gonna say that Burnley have actually done a bit of business, didn't they?
Have they?
Have they?
Yeah,
I'll stop speaking to Sam.
winger from Bournemouth, an attacking midfielder from Millwall, and I don't know if you guys know much of this guy, Marcus Edwards from Sporting
Yeah,
Lisbon,
yeah,
who was
yeah.
a
Oh
Tottenham
yeah, I
youngster.
know. Yeah,
Yeah,
so they finalised that. He
yeah,
was like a loan to
8.4.
buy. Do you know what? Good player. I think tactically he changed their season because they had Anthony on one wing, and I think that's his name. But he was the main threat, so every side were just doubling up on him or making the box, so he couldn't get out of it. As soon as they got in Edwards, good old fashioned dual threat, and then Josh Brownhill would break late spaces. So hopefully,
Apparently, Reinders just announced himself to City after his medical.
really.
So apparently, that's now a done deal. Thank you for that.
He's eager.
Loan
Flipping
back
hell.
Oh,
He's
mate, Core. Him and
Appreciate the
Rodri.
breaking news there, but yeah, like we were saying, that is a frightening pairing at the base of your midfield.
yeah.
Like you've got Rodri who will sit, mop up, intercept everything, and Reinders that will just control the tempo of the game. Like
and and Nico as a backup. Oof.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
and if they want to play a free,
Oh, fuck. That's not fair. That's not fair.
come on, guys, that is.
That's not fair. Because he's still trying to find his feet as well. To be fair, Nico signed that Nico player.
But then if we're talking like we've been talking transfer years, and we're talking massive transfer fees, Reinders from AC Milan, their player of the season, £45 million, something like that.
Yeah.
And then we're talking about like players that aren't even near that level of talent that are going for more. Like if someone said to me before any of these transfers happened, no numbers had been announced, who you having, Cunha or Reinders? You got £50 million to spend on one of them. I'm taking Reinders.
Yeah.
But Cunha's gone for nearly £20 million more.
It's because that's just smacks of a Man United transfer. Oh, 46. 46, yeah. But that's Man United. They have to pay over the odds
46
to get a player they want because they're not very good.
That's an absolute bargain, man. He is such a good player.
Yeah. I think
he's a cracking player.
City just went in there and said, "Hey, it's 45. That's it."
And like we were just saying, about the fees,
Shut the hell up.
Yeah,
I remember he's in his last year of his contract. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, 33. But then if we're talking 120 or whatever Liverpool are going to pay for Wirtz, I would always be signing Cherky for £33 million.
Yeah, 100%.
Always. Like, it's crazy when you think about it.
They got so much left in the bank. They could go way more.
Sorry, Stocks, we interrupted you there. Was there any other interesting West Ham news other than Josh Brownhill?
Some holding midfielder from Belgium, whose name I can't remember. It's West Ham, and they're trying to make it different, but it's hard.
Yeah.
Sullivan will be wanting like a South American on a loan to buy at some point, so we'll see.
Fair enough.
Fingers in ears for me.
Yeah. Big up Moffat Moffat as well, by the way, and welcome into the
Yeah.
chat. I'm guessing you're a City fan from the announcement of Rangers, but let us know.
Yeah.
Right, Samir, Arsenal. Talk
Yes.
to us. There's been talks. There's the striker. Gokrez and Sesko have been linked. Obviously, Zubimendi was potentially done in January, but we're still waiting for that to be complete.
Yeah.
What else is going on?
So I think they want to get these two signings done. Well, one striker and Zubimendi. I think they want to get that done early. But I also think we need what we want to get is a left winger. And I'm just looking at Williams playing today. I'm thinking, why don't we go for him? I can't remember who else was the other winger was going for. Rodrigo.
Here we go.
Rodrigo's another one.
City fan, proper City fan, 1970s. Love that. Big up yourself.
Rodrigo's another one we're linked with. So I think the Sesko one, because obviously they're saying we're like talks are advancing. I don't think there's too many Arsenal fans like happy about that one, because obviously we see Gyökeres and we see his age and how many goals he's scoring in for Sporting Lisbon, and everyone prefers him over Sesko. But I don't mind either. I just don't care. Just get me a striker. Like, I've seen Sesko play a few games, and I've seen him like technically he's actually okay. It's just the goals are quite low, but he's only 21. So like coming to a team where you've got Saka, you've got Odegaard, and hopefully a better left winger than Martinelli, I think we could be a force next season. So hopefully, that comes in. Zubimendi as well is another one. I keep seeing rumors on how Real Madrid could come in last minute, but then I saw another one about how Real Sociedad don't want to sell before 1st of July or something like that.
Yeah, football financial years run up to the 30th of June. So
I think that's what they're waiting on. So I think Zubimendi is kind of it is a done deal, I'd say, because we've had like a gentleman agreement from January, but you never know. Real Madrid could be like, hey, like they just lost Modric, so I wouldn't be surprised. So yeah, they're the main three: so Sesko, Zubimendi, and trying to get a left winger, which
okay.
I'm so happy
What do you
about.
think? What do you think of this shout, Osherman?
Like, I don't know, like what's wrong with the Premier League? Like, I don't know why none of us are going for him. Like,
Is it what's wrong with the Premier League, or is it what's wrong with Osherman?
I was about to say that.
Because he's out in Turkey, and now there's talk of him going to Saudi.
Yeah, but the Saudi one's off now. But I think it's down to wages. I think he's asking for a lot. Like I think Chelsea almost signed him, but he was asking for like ridiculous amount of money, which I'm not surprised. He's Nigerian.
Raw, my word.
He's like, all the money.
Only you from this panel could have said that to me. To be fair. Most of us would have been allowed.
I was surprised. They want all the money in the world. But yeah, he wants almost around 350k and shit.
To be fair, what I would say is you've been more linked with Sesko than Gyökeres or Osherman. I think out of the three, he's the one I worry about the most in your system.
Yeah, he's the best. I just like
Osherman.
I would worry. I would worry about Sesko more in Arsenal's system, as in it not working for Arsenal.
Oh, okay.
Because I feel like he could slip into the similar type of play that Havertz does.
Yes.
And he still won't be in the position to score them goals in the 6-yard box where it hits you on the shin, or it comes off your thigh, or it hits you on the arse and goes in. And you need a Gyökeres or you need an Osman that's going to be in there for them crosses.
Yeah.
And that's what Arsenal have missed.
I'm a bit more basic with Arsenal. I think they just need a presence.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. Gyökeres or Osherman.
Like a physical, something physical and powerful, especially with that sort of the three behind, because unless you get Williams, like traditionally left wingers are sort of more elusive and quick.
Mm.
You've got Erdegaard who floats around there, not known for physicality. Saka's quick, but he's not physical. You need a bit of power.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like, to be fair, all three of the ones we're
That's what
talking
I said
about
about Chelsea.
bring the power, but I think because Sesko's an absolute unit, by the way.
He is. He's
Like,
massive.
he's built for the Premier League.
Yeah.
But I just don't think he's the box striker that you need. I think you need a box striker that will complete your team, because you've got enough fancy players to get the ball in the box.
Mm.
You don't need someone else dropping out onto the edge or dropping into midfield to get the ball.
Exactly that. Yeah.
Ball in the net. That's what you need.
I was just about to say that. We need someone who's just hungry for goals. Like, I want to score today. I need to get a hat trick. I need to, like, I don't care about all them. Oh, he needs to link up play, and no, just be in the box and freaking score goals. Like, and I see that in Gyökeres. Gyökeres is hungry for goals.
I think
He's right,
everybody in the top four, five. Any English club in the Champions League apart from Tottenham should be in that conversation for Turkey.
Yeah, 100%. No, apart from us as well, I wouldn't want to.
You
should pay £33 million. Everybody should be
to bench him. I don't care. To be fair, I want to be ruthless like that to get someone like him and put him on the bench.
For side, by the way, and he can play 10, so he could cover Overguard. He can play on the right if Zaka needs a west, so you can bring someone else in on the left, or he could just play on the left.
Yeah,
like, he fits every single one of them teams in the top 4 or 5.
Yeah, my mentality there was stupid. Like, we should go for him. I don't care who it is. Go for like 10 of him and have him all on the bench. I don't care anymore.
£33 million as well.
£33 million. Yeah. Like, I don't care. Like, have him start. Put him on the bench. Put Saka on the bench. I don't give a fuck. I just want a squad. I just want a squad. I don't care. Like,
okay, that's gonna be my first clip that goes out. Samir is benching.
Nah, man, I'm ruthless, man. Look at Man City. Look at the players that they have. Like, we're not even talking about people.
I get what you're saying. You need to double. You'd like Man City have got 2 in pretty much every position.
Exactly, and they're all on the bench. Like, sit there and be quiet.
Other teams need to grow to that point.
Exactly. Like, I've always had this mentality with I think it stems all the way from Arsene Wenger. It's just like, we can't sign him because we're gonna have to. He's not gonna be happy being on the bench and stuff like that. Like, that's not helped us, has it? So I don't give a fuck anymore, man. Just sign all these big players and put them on the bench or something. It don't matter.
Right. Last little bit on transfers. I'm gonna roll to Newcastle quickly. We're getting linked with loads of players, but I think that's going to happen in every single window for us. The firmer links are pretty much the usual suspects. Alanga, who we've been linked with for a few windows. Pedro, again, we've been linked with for years. He was another one we looked to sign before Isak came in. Mark Gahey, again. And the midfield links have gone a little bit quiet now. But the one that looks to be a goer and getting closer from what I've heard is João Pedro. That's the one they feel could be done. A lot of the Newcastle guys that know a little bit feel it could be done before this first window closes, basically.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
What, you don't like it because he's good, or you don't think he's
because he's good, and I don't. Well, yeah, that would change your club for like. But at the same time, you'd like to play with a flat 3, so like a number 10.
Again, I think Eddie Howe's evolving his system a little bit.
Oh, him too.
Yeah, but João Pedro again. Like, we went from a couple of seasons ago. Eddie Howe came out of a line and said, "Intensity is our identity." And this season, we've gone away from the intensity, and the versatility is the key to what we do. And João Pedro is immense for that, because we can name a starting 11, and João Pedro is one of them players that the other team won't know what we're going to do until we actually start the game.
Yeah,
because he can play alongside Isak or just off, or he can play up top and Isak can play just off. He can play right, he can play left. And a thing that a lot of people don't know, he started his career as a DM, so he could also play the Joe Linton 8.
Oh, he started as a DM. Is that why he tried to go around smashing a few people last season and getting away with
it? Yeah, flipping.
Oh, yeah, it'd be a perfect replacement with Joe Linton then, just going around clumping people.
I'll get on.
That's a
This is the only reason.
That's a good question.
Yeah, we'll get back to that in a sec.
That's a
I'll bring
good
that one
question.
back up in a second because
That's a good
that
question.
kind of links into Newcastle as well. But I'll bring that one back up in a second.
Oh, it does. Yeah, it does.
So that is the only downfall for me with João Pedro. I think I've said it on here. Me and Stocky have had individual conversations away from streams. I do not like João Pedro as a person. I've seen some of the stuff that he's done and I think it's despicable. I do not like the way he goes about it. We have got some dickheads in our team, but some of the stuff he has done or tried to do is beyond being just being a bit of a dickhead while you're playing football. It's actually very, very dangerous, some of the stuff he's done, and I don't like it. So
I just feel like some of these players, because Cunha's like that as well. I just don't think they're happy at the clubs they're at.
But Cunha is a bit of a dickhead, but he's not like you wouldn't. Apart from when he tried to snatch the glasses off the guy's face, he hasn't done anything that you would call like despicable. That he's gone out to hurt someone.
Yeah.
And he could seriously hurt someone from what he's doing. João Pedro's got 3 or 4 that I feel he's actually gone to or could have seriously hurt a player.
Yeah.
And I do not like that in a football player whatsoever.
But that's how I was saying. Maybe they just don't like the clubs that they're at. Like,
maybe.
Do you know what? You can be unhappy, but there was one where we spoke about it loads on Spurs King. Funny enough, the referee didn't. Our ref friend didn't think it was that much. But João Pedro turns around and swings the elbow, and Harry got away with it.
That one and the one where he jumped into the goalie as well.
Yeah,
both of them were a joke, and it's just not good enough.
Yeah.
I don't want Newcastle players doing that. So if he's going to come here and do that, I don't want him.
He's got to toe the line. He's got to toe the line, foot down. Then you're saying,
yeah, 100%. I don't want Newcastle. Eddie Howe won't want Newcastle players doing that. Yeah, we're a bit of a dickhead of a side, and people joke they call us like the Saudi rugby team and stuff like that. But you wouldn't say over the last 3 or 4 seasons any of our players have gone out to deliberately hurt someone in a vicious or malicious kind of way at all. We've just been a bit of a bully boy tactic every now and again.
Oh yeah. I see that. Yeah.
And there's a difference in these two things. I quite like that we're not pushovers anymore because we've been pushovers for way too long. But as soon as players start going out and it looks like they've tried to do a player, then no, not having it.
Yeah.
But we're going to roll back onto this question from Low Fat Moffat because it rolls into a Newcastle thing because there is actually links for Jack Grealish to Newcastle. But Samir, this is aimed at you. Would you take Grealish at Arsenal?
Yeah, I would. Yes, because he's better than Martinelli. But I'm worried about the whole drinking thing, especially in London as well. Like he's gonna be out every day, let alone every weekend. So yeah, I'm worried about that. But at the same time, he has got amazing ability. Yeah, I'll take Jack Grealish.
Yeah, same. He's been linked to us quite heavily recently, and me.
You don't want him in Newcastle.
I do 100%.
No, not at the club. I mean, Newcastle.
I don't mind players having a bit of that as long as he's not out all the time. I don't mind him having a bit of a shut off, getting drunk, do what he does, as long as it's not like on a Friday night before the game and stuff like that. None of that can't be acceptable.
Oh, we got old school Tuesday club with a black bag on training Wednesday morning. Yeah,
hey, if he's got Wednesday mornings off training, he can do what he wants for the Tuesday night. That's what I'm saying.
It's true.
But yeah, I love Jack Grealish as a player, and he's what I call a controller. And he'll get the ball, and the game will slow down to his pace. He'll draw players in, he'll pop it off, he'll win free kicks. I would love to bring him in because he also falls into the versatility side of things. He can play left wing, he can play one of the 8s, he can play 10. He could probably do a job on the right if you really needed him to. And I'd absolutely love that. One thing I wouldn't do is this. Not a chance in the world. If you want Tonali, you can give me Grealish, you can give me Oscar Bob, and you can give me about £100 million, and then we'll sit down and have a conversation about it. But until that point, that's not happening. And another thing I wouldn't like to see is this Grealish on the Newcastle Brown. Nah.
Oh, mate, can you imagine front page of the Sun, him staggering out of that Greg's on Market Street or whatever it's called?
Which one? There's about 9.
Yeah, that late night one.
Oh, yeah.
In the kebab shops having a go on the punching machines and things like that.
It'd be interesting because it does look like Grealish is surplus to requirements now. He barely got any minutes this year, so where he goes could be interesting.
There's gonna be
Whoever
loads.
gets
Of
him,
He,
they're
need,
going to get a fantastic player.
yeah, there's gonna be loads
he
of.
needs to chill out. He needs to relax. No pressure. Have some fun. Come West Ham. Have a jolly up.
To be fair, it's another. I think that's another club that's a good fit for him. He's one of them players that could fit in at 90% of the league and look fantastic. I think.
Yeah.
I think he's just
got
at
a-
the one club that is never ever going to work for him.
But with someone like him coming from Man City, you would think, oh yeah, he's gonna wanna stay at that level.
I don't think he's one of them players.
Nah.
I don't think he's got
Funny
that
though.
mentality. He's one of them that just wants to play football and enjoy his football.
Yeah,
I don't think
of
he's got the
course.
Billy Big Bollocks thing about him that he wants to
course.
turn up and be the star. I just think he just wants to enjoy his football, and that's the vibe I get from Jack Grealish. I might be wrong.
But at the same time, he
But that's
probably
the
wants
vibe I
to
get.
win a lot more than he has at obviously what he has now.
Or is he going to see it as that he's won enough and he just wants to get back to having fun in his game again? Because if you think Jack Grealish at Villa isn't the same Jack Grealish he was at Man United.
Yeah, he wants that free flowing game as well. So he probably won't even get that at Arsenal actually.
Totally agree with this comment. Oscar Bob does look a right star. If he's not promised minutes, I think it would be wise for Man City to loan him rather than sell him. Because I feel his ceiling is ridiculously high. So if they sell him after a season out injured and they only get about £30 million, they could be regretting it next season like they were with Cole Palmer because he'll be worth 70, 80 within about a year.
So before he got injured, where was he mostly playing? Was it up front?
Either side on the wing.
He
came on with Kevin De Bruyne at a game at St James's Park and
I
we
remember that game.
all up.
Yeah.
And De Bruyne scored and Bob scored, and I think he came on the left.
Oh, okay.
But I've mainly seen him on the right.
Yeah, because I was thinking maybe if he would have a chance if like Haaland was injured and he'll go up front, but
no,
on
he's more of a tricky wide man than a
on the wings he's probably gonna have to go low.
Yeah.
Because I don't see him getting too many games now.
Right, that was meant to be a quick catch up, and we've done an hour and 15 minutes on transfers, which is fantastic stuff. To be fair, so also wanted to do some England talk. So this is the squad that Tommy Tuchel picked. It's pretty standard really. Goalies, as you'd expect, maybe Nick Pope could have got in there. Defenders, nothing really stands out because there's some big names that are injured, like your Stoneses and stuff like that haven't really been playing. So that pretty much picks itself. In midfield, surprised that maybe Jordan Henderson's in there.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh my days.
Only maybe. Conor Gallagher has had a great season.
He's had a great season, but I'm still surprised he got.
And then the two that would surprise me in the forwards are Noni Madueke and Ivan Toney, to be honest.
Do you know what? I was feeling exactly the same about Madueke, but he was arguably one of the better players yesterday.
Yeah, and just to touch on Low Fat Moffat's point, this would have been one of my first talking points, but
he got left out.
The under-21s have got a tournament, I believe, this summer, and the manager asked him to go to the tournament because it's the last one he qualifies for, and he chose to do that rather than being the first team squad. From what I hear, Tino Livramento himself had the choice which squad he wanted to be in, and he chose to go to a tournament.
Good choice.
Good management. Good management. Good choice from player.
Yeah. Because I think they could potentially win it. England under-21s have got a squad.
Yeah, so
better than this. It's better than this.
Also, I'll be selfish. I don't care. Bowen got 6 goals in the last 6 games. A bit longer than that, he was getting assists as well. How's he not in the squad?
Yeah, that's true.
That's why the Madueke one confuses me. The same with, to be fair, I could probably put Watkins and Toney in that bracket. Because Toney, I don't know what he's been doing out in Saudi, but he is out in Saudi. So why?
Apparently,
why would you take? Yeah, but why would you take 3 number 9s for 2 games?
Yeah.
Harry Kane played pretty much the full game against Andorra. So is he going to play against Senegal as well?
Did he play the full game?
Pretty much.
Oh,
pretty much.
I didn't see much of him.
I'm pretty sure he played most of the game.
Who's
It was more of a dig than a genuine question,
Oh,
mate.
Yeah, I think it was. It was on my part as well. I did. Like, really and truly. Like,
well,
But
this
again,
was
I
the
s-
starting team, so he must have played most of the game because he was captain and
yeah.
started.
Well, he has to be.
yeah.
Has to be. England have got to sell sponsorships,
Yeah,
so he has to play every game he can,
Mm.
whether he's playing well or not in this England team.
yeah. So
This squad's awful, by the way.
the squad isn't great. The starting lineup was confusing as anything. I wish I actually put the graphic on now because Stocky sent me a picture of what I think it might have been BBC
BBC.
lined up,
Yeah.
and it was what was it, a
4-2-3-1.
4-3?
4-2-3-1 in what was clearly a three at the back system. They had
Yeah,
Mm.
like Curtis Jones at right back,
yeah. So
which is like
it was weird, yeah. So it was
yeah,
Byrne and Konza centre backs, Reece James left back, Curtis Jones right back.
mm,
Then I'm pretty
yeah.
sure they had Bellingham and Henderson deep
Listen,
Oh, God.
with Palmer,
Oh, God, I missed it.
Rogers, Palmer on the right, Rogers in the middle, and Madueke on the left behind Kane. I'm pretty sure that was what
Yeah.
Stocky sent me through.
yeah.
What I'm going to bring up next is kind of close to what we saw,
Wait, what? Wait.
but I am going to bring up something else completely now to kind of show what I believe it actually was. I'm not sure how clear that is going to be to people, but I think it looked more like this. I'm hoping people can see that pretty clearly. So it was
Yeah.
obviously Pickford in goal, Byrne middle of the back three, Reece James on the left, Kwanzaa on the right. Jones and Madueke were more of the wing backs than anything.
Mm.
Henderson just played as a deep one in midfield. Palmer and Bellingham played kind of as 2 10s-ish, but Palmer was a little bit more to the side. Rogers was clearly right, and Madueke played very high up. But if I laid it out as a starting team, that's how I'd lay it out on paper. Does anybody kind of disagree with the way that's laid out from what they saw of
Nah.
the game?
I didn't watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. That was more or less it. Yeah. I just thinking about yesterday's sent me in a cold sweat.
So a lot of the time, what it was it looked a bit like that at times, with Jones coming into any kind of gap. He was popping up anywhere he wanted to do. He was floating about all over the place.
Mm.
And yeah, that's sort of how it happened.
You're not trying that in a major tournament.
Huh?
You're not trying that in a major tournament.
I quite like the fact he's experimenting. It wasn't an
Yeah,
experiment that I think worked
get it.
particularly
Yeah.
well,
Mm.
more due to personnel than system,
Mm.
but it was a good experiment, I would say.
I get it. He's got experiment in it. It's just like his second, third game, I think. So
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
it's widely said that he hasn't had much time to train with them.
Mm.
I'd say I'd love to be scathing about it because I don't care what the circumstances are. It was pants. But what I would say is the fact they're still playing proper competitive football after such a long season. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It looked like none of them really wanted to be there, and it showed in the performance. You'd still say, well, you're there, it's your job, just do it. But the fatigue, and they are blowing out their arse slightly.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was crap, and that felt like a proper waste of like 2 hours of my life.
Yeah, it wasn't great at all. It wasn't. I missed the first. Me and Stocky. When Stocky sent me the team, I turned around and messaged back and said, "Oh, what time did it kick off?" And he was like 28 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's me. I woke up, I was like, oh, I saw 90th minute. I was like,
And then when I turned it on, we got to half time, and I messaged Stocky back and was like, "I'm glad I missed half an hour."
You know what? I was in IKEA half hour before. I was like, oh, I better get back. I was going to watch that, and I was like, oh my god, I wish I stayed in IKEA. I could have gone and had another load of meatballs and been much happier with my Saturday.
Yeah,
100%. But right, so it looks like this is going to be his system. What tweaks would you make to personnel to make this system run better than it did? Or would you tweak?
we'll start with Madueke, I'd put Lewis Skelly there.
I knew you was going to say that. Predictable as Henderson.
It's the most obvious one. Yeah, like at wing back. No? Why would I put Madueke wing back?
We're only going from this
He
squad.
plays. Yeah, I get that. He plays right
Oh,
wing.
we're only going.
From this
Right.
squad.
Yeah. No, from the squad. Yeah. That's what.
I would change the squad personally, but I'm just looking at what he's got in this squad at the minute, the strongest team we can put out.
Oh, right. Okay.
I'd put. I'm not a big
So
fan.
wait there. So Samir, you've done your one.
Okay.
And I probably from this squad wouldn't argue about your one that you've done. So we're going to roll on to Stocky. Stocky can do one next, and we'll see if anybody.
Well, clearly, you'd changed Henderson for Rice, which I would have changed that game a bit, but it was testing. It's a separate question of why Henderson's there in the first place when there's perfectly good. We'll get onto the player, one standout player that should be in that position. I've said the Rice one, so I'll have to hold back on the next one for now.
No, I'll jump ahead.
Rice for Henderson, yeah?
Yeah, ideally.
Okay, so what I would do with this squad... Actually, I'm not arguing with that. I'm guessing Samir's not going to argue with that.
Which one?
With Rice coming in for Henderson.
Oh, no, hold on.
Okay, cool. So what I would do is that.
Oh, 100%. That was so simple. That was so simple. Yeah. Ooh.
Did you just swap around there, mate?
No. I've already changed my mind. Ignore me. I'm leaving Reece James where he was, and I'm putting that guy in instead.
I didn't like that. I liked what you did before.
So who's the Konza's come out, and I've now put Trevor Chalobah in at right centre back and left Reece James where he was. Originally, I moved Reece James over to right centre back and brought in Colwill. But for me, Chalobah has been the standout centre back for Chelsea since he came back from Crystal Palace.
Yeah, but it's not like a flex, is it? There ain't too many good ones.
Yeah, but it's not a flex.
Yeah,
but
there's too many good ones in Chelsea's.
But Chalobah, I think Chalobah's so underrated. I just think he's so much better than Colwill.
Yeah.
I'm glad James is there, because one thing that we mentioned it for other teams earlier on, you get a large degree of tactical flexibility with James, who's kind of good in several positions. He can get. I think he's got excellent delivery. He can get forward. He can also defend, which is rare for some modern day fullbacks. So I'm glad he's in there. Initially, because he's never fit, you was like, oh, well, Tuchel's just backing him because he knew him so well. But tactically, for me, I think the variety of positions that he can play in and be good at pretty much most of them makes him quite important.
Yeah. He's another one that does what João Pedro does for teams, where he can play so many different positions and so well. You can name a starting 11, and because James is in there, you're not ever really going to be 100% sure where he's going to start until the game started. So it makes it harder to set prep for before the game.
Are we going?
Someone this week, he agrees that Chalobah's underrated. He's got a very good question as well, by the way, which I think will change over the next year or so.
You know what? I do want to get on a subject about this. That's a good question. So he's gone for Trafford. I'm saying, so I had the conversation with Jordan, and I was saying Henderson. He's saying Pickford.
Okay.
And he basically questioned, why would you drop Pickford? And obviously, I didn't really have an answer for that, but I just thought Henderson was better. So that's a good question. I think, but he's gone for Trafford. So who are we going? Trafford or Henderson?
As of right now, you do not drop Jordan Pickford.
Yeah, that's why.
Depending on Trafford's next season in the Premier League, I think the conversation could be very, very different by the time the tournament comes around.
So you're going Trafford over Dean Henderson?
Yes.
I do like I like Dean
I think
Henderson.
Dean Henderson's had enough time at the top level of football to prove that he's not really a top level goalie for international football. I think he's had enough time to prove it, and he never has. So I
I don't think
don't
he's been
think.
given that chance. Though. I think he's. But I said to Julian, it's just his kicking that's letting him down, but his shot stopping is amazing.
But if it's Thomas Tuchel as the manager and we're playing this system, his kicking cannot
He's
be
gonna
something
be
that lets
yeah,
him down.
yeah. But that's almost every keeper nowadays, isn't it? His
But
Trafford are good.
Pickford and Trafford could both kick the ball very
Oh,
well.
yeah. I'm
So
not feeling Trafford too much, so he can kick the ball then.
yeah.
Yeah,
Trafford's decent.
yeah.
Trafford.
That's the advantage.
All goalies really need to have in them is a 10-yard pass into the centre back, a clip into the full back or the wing back, or the longer one that can actually get in and around the front man. Trafford does all of them very, very well.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say that he's Edison and he can zing it over the back four and get assists or stuff like that, but his kicking is very efficient.
yeah. It's mad how we're looking at keepers nowadays, and it's about kicking. I get it. The times have changed, but
Times
yeah,
have changed, and it makes teams harder to play against because I was speaking to Philip from Toon Tactics TV the other day, and he's very keen on us getting a goalie that can play out for similar reasons, but his tactical way of looking at it is quite unique. So
yeah,
it's like we can then play when teams play a low block, we can play very high up as a back two, essentially when everybody else is pushed on, with the goalie also quite high up to make it a back three and becoming technically another outfield player in that situation. So you can then squeeze teams into their own half even further. And I've never really looked at it like that, but it was a very interesting way that he went about it.
yeah. But that's the thing. That's what Jordan asked me. Like, why are you dropping Pickford? So why are you dropping Pope?
Because
That's
Pope
because he can't.
literally, as a Premier League footballer, cannot kick the ball.
Yeah,
He basically can't keep the ball on the football pitch.
but he hasn't cost you. He hasn't cost you anything, and you finished the season well. So why are you gonna go say, "Oh, Nick Pope, out you go. We need
Samir,
this because he can kick."
trust me when I say this. This guy with his feet
No, he's awful.
is of a level of someone you'd watch on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Not even the good pitches at Hackney Marshes. Some of the dead pitches at Hackney Marshes that no one wants to play on.
Yeah,
He's of that level. Like he's ridiculously bad with his feet. He either rolls it. He can roll it into the other one of the centre backs.
yeah, but
But even
going
when
long.
he goes long, it goes
Yeah.
out for a throw-in.
Mm.
And he is incapable of clipping it 30 yards to a fullback.
Yeah, yeah. Times have changed.
That
mate.
is why
Yeah, I
we
see that.
upgrade Pope.
Mm.
I
I
would
get
go as far to say he's probably the worst goalie with the ball at his feet in the Premier League.
I agree with that, but not the worst goalie. That's the thing. That's another
In the Premier League, I would say he is.
the worst goalie. Not
Not actual.
yeah.
He's
No, I'm
probably,
talking about
the best shot stoppers in the league by
yeah.
far. And
There we
in
go. So why
his
would
command of the box and his throwing the ball out are all exceptional, but he cannot play out
it's
from
the
the back.
kicking. So, but what if you bring in someone that has amazing kicking but doesn't have everything else that Nick Pope has?
Then we've got to try and weigh up the positives with the negatives and try and keep it sort of level. One thing we don't want is something like this. We do not want that. That's one thing we can't do.
He's good with his kicking. He's
We
good
can't.
with
No,
his
yeah,
kicking.
that's one thing we cannot do. That's why we want Trafford, because
Yeah,
Trafford is also very
he's both.
proficient
Yeah,
in all of these other things that Pope's good at. He's not as good a shot stopper as Pope, but he still does pull off ridiculous saves.
Mm.
His command of his box hasn't quite got to Pope's level, but it's got massively. It's much better from what we saw him in the Premier League last time he was in it.
Yeah,
And I feel he can get there, but his kicking is on a different stratosphere to Nick's Pope.
yeah. Stocks.
But
Is Fabianski not free now?
He's
let's,
retired, mate. Sadly,
You're tired.
is that
I think he's
Fabianski?
retired. Yeah,
I thought his contract just went out, and that's it. Oh, he's retired. Okay.
I think he might have retired. Well, he's definitely left us,
Yeah, yeah. I
which
thought
is a shame 'cause I really liked him.
Portugal
Genuinely,
Spain has just gone to pens, by the
I
way.
know. Yeah, I know. I've got a tablet right next to my laptop, so I can watch that as well. Yeah. Yeah, with the Pickford Trafford thing,
Mm.
Pickford hasn't done anything wrong for England.
Yeah.
Um, and he had one of his better years for Everton.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I've never been like the biggest fan of him throughout his England tenure, but
Mm.
he's kind of earned the right at the minute, and it's someone else's job to make him droppable. If you know what I mean, you basically
Yeah.
someone's just got to outperform him, which is it's quite a tall task.
But is it though?
Like,
But I think
he
people.
even had one yesterday. You know, he had like the Pickford moment every game where he run like 30 yards out of his box to head it, and he didn't
Mm.
head it properly. And if the geezer was more confident, he could have had a shot.
Yeah.
Like he has that, but for some reason for England, it doesn't get punished.
Do you know what I'm gonna say? He is now in a situation of he's lost all of that credit, not
Mm.
because he's done anything wrong, but because a new manager has come in. All
Mm.
of that credit was with Southgate at England.
Yeah.
Yeah, should be.
Thomas
Yeah.
Tuchel isn't going to care. So if he now makes one
Mm.
mistake that Tuchel doesn't like, it's
No.
it's a new manager, and he's going to be like, okay, I need someone who's not going to be doing this because
Yeah.
he's not going to have all of that credit that he's built up with Southgate anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So as harsh as that is on Pickford as an England goalie, that's just the fact of the matter when a new manager comes in anywhere.
Yeah.
The slate is clean and he has to build it all back up again. So if he now doesn't have a great season with Everton, or he now starts making mistakes for England,
He's out.
Tuchel is going to be looking for a different goalkeeper.
Mm.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Right.
Right.
Is there any more tweaks we would make to this side?
I
If
have
think,
one.
go on then, Stocks.
I have a major one for me.
Yeah.
I think Eze has to be in this side.
Okay.
Mm. Mm. Wait, well, I'm trying to see where though.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that's the next
yeah.
question. Who's coming out? I think I know who's coming out. I think
Rogers.
there's going to be a little bit of a jigging around at the three behind Kane here, but
Do you know what? After yesterday, I don't think it'd be Roger Sabir.
I knew
okay.
it, dude. Dude. Oh no, it's not. It's
What?
not.
Who we got in there? Who's the three behind Kane in a minute? So we've got.
Bellingham, and Rogers. Palmer, Bellingham, and Rogers.
Oh, it'd be Palmer.
Oh, you
So you're just doing that.
surprised by that?
Yeah. Right. Look, me personally, I wouldn't have Bellingham that far up the pitch against
Yeah,
90% of teams. I
yeah,
wouldn't have him that far up the pitch
yeah.
So
myself.
what you would say in this system, you would want it sort of more looking
Yeah,
like that. Two
I
wing
would.
backs that get up and down, a little box midfield
Yeah,
came through the middle.
yeah. So you'd have Rogers and Eze, or you'd swap Rogers for Palmer
Yeah,
possibly.
there you go. I
But
was gonna go there.
I really think Eze deserves to start at the
I
minute, and
agree.
he's something a bit different. Like I know Palmer does all of this stuff, but I don't know. I think he's got a whole more languid personality. I think Eze's a bit more direct to the minute, and he's on
Yeah,
the cusp of excellent form. He's buzzing. He got the winner in an FA Cup final. At the minute, he probably feels like he's walking on air. Like
yeah,
I think he has to be in the side, and that's a perfect game. Yesterday was just a side that wanted to do everything they could to not concede. And when you don't want to concede, you don't want people to commit you one on one. And Eze would do that all day long.
mm.
Yeah.
I like that. I think that's the best shout so far. There's a one. I would. For some reason, I do like Palmer. I do like Palmer, and I would swap him for Rogers, especially
I
on
think
that side.
Rogers had a great year.
Huh?
Yeah.
Say that again.
I think Rogers has had a good year.
Yeah, he has. It's been okay, I'd say.
Again, I think he's more
Palmer's
direct
way
in carrying the ball and people and attacking people.
I
I,
just I just look at Palmer and how much he can create for someone like Harry Kane. I don't think Rogers can create that much better than Palmer.
but against certain sides, essentially, if a team doesn't want to give you any space,
Hmm.
Palmer hasn't got the gaps to find people because
Yeah.
you've got to go for some super amazing world class pass. Sometimes you just want people who can carry the ball and commit people, because as soon as the first person gets dragged out of the system or you beat them, it's like dominoes. Then somewhere the gap's going to be, and that's where you got to hit them. Whereas, like yesterday, it was just all just pass, and we only looked good when either Madueke or Rogers wanted to commit someone,
Okay.
and that's how teams are just too well organised these days. Even like what you would call the worst teams are too well organised just to say, oh yeah, well, he's a good player and he likes passing. They don't want gaps. It's space that kills you in football. And these players drive at you and create their own space. And that's why I think we need a bit more of that. And it'd be more interesting
I get
to
that.
watch.
I do get that. What about Gibbs White?
Good chat.
I do like Gibbs
Good
White.
chat again.
Yeah, another good shout. Where would he come in though if he was coming into this side?
That's the biggest question. That is the biggest question because he's not over Jude. He's not going to be over Rice. And we've already put Eze in. Oh, it might be over Rodgers.
If Rice or Bellingham needed a breather, I would definitely have him on the list. Although there's another player who's not named in the squad who I think is worth a shout.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll play Rodgers a bit deeper, a bit like Bellingham, because again, against like 90% of countries, he can do the jobs he has to do from deeper and still get forward. And then again, going into space, driving into space, not already standing there like trying to find a gap.
Yeah,
driving, committing people. Yeah,
I like the sound of that. Wait, are we gonna stick with Jones though? Are we gonna?
Yeah, I was waiting for someone to say to move Jones for someone else. But
right, I was looking at all the interesting
number 10s and all of this.
I was like, wait a minute, this guy got away with it.
So the obvious one at the minute is that.
Yeah. That should have been first. We should have done that from the off.
Yeah, but
he almost got away with that. He almost got away with that.
I don't think he was ever going to be in the starting lineup when we get to the end. But we wanted to talk about the less obvious ones, didn't we?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I was thinking about this earlier on. Other than Trent out there, like Wan-Bissaka's chose another country. I can't remember who.
Congo. Has he chose Congo?
Yeah. Well, it's definitely not England.
Yeah, that's his other.
So, who else is like standout right back or sort of right side for England at the minute after Trent?
Tino.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's probably why. Yeah, because I was wondering like who else is in the squad, but obviously, he's going 21s. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm good with that.
And this is so from this squad. Are we saying if we had a game, an important game against a big nation, is this what we're gonna? Is this the 11 we're gonna put out?
For me, yeah, that's a lot. Yeah.
Oh, this is good though. I do like this.
I like this. It's a good setup. The only one that I'd probably say is a likely change that would happen would be Palmer for Rodgers.
Yeah, me too.
Wait. Maybe they weren't named on the bench, but I'm sure Saka's in this squad. I've seen pictures of him over the last.
He's in the squad. He's got injured like in the last few days.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, Saka would go in there above. I'd go Saka and Eze.
The question is, over Rodgers, isn't it? The question is where, but I don't see Saka playing as like.
I looked through and he wasn't on the bench, and I always thought the whole squad was on the bench, and he wasn't on the bench. So I just assumed he wasn't in the squad. But then I remember seeing a picture of him sat on the bench.
He was injured.
Okay, so last question. Last question before we go into some more old school England stuff. Would anybody be accepting of that?
No. Hell no. Actually, no. Why am I saying hell no? Actually, that's not that bad, but defensive. You know what?
What you done there, Mitch? I can't see.
So Miles Lewis-Skelly's come out at left wing back, and Anthony Gordon has gone in.
Gordon gets up and down though, isn't it? Yeah, so that's why at first I said hell no, but then I just
Spain
retracted
have
that.
just missed a pen,
Yeah.
and I think
Yeah, they won.
Portugal
Looks like
have got
Morata.
a pen to win it. Am I delayed?
Yeah, delayed. Portugal's won it. Ronaldo's crying and shit.
Oh, God.
Are you delayed as well then, Stocks?
Yeah.
Is this
Yeah, I'm watching it.
Bruno
I'm watching it.
Fernandes pen to win it? Don't ignore Samir.
I'm
It's
really
not Bruno Fernandes. It's already taken his.
So who's that then?
I'm crying as in celebrating.
Yeah, but who is it? Who is that?
Don't know, but it's a good pen.
That's a good pen, yeah. So Portugal have just won it.
Why are these lot
Well,
like
they won it about
breaking-
30 seconds ago, according to
Breaking
Connect,
news.
yeah, breaking news? Gordon,
Back to the Gordon thing. All right with that
Yeah.
for about 70% of England games.
Yeah. I just
No,
thought I'd
but-
throw it out there because I'm a Newcastle fan, and why not?
No, but I'll do that if we were desperate and we had no one. We had no left back.
Yeah, no. Personally, I would be playing our actual left back in that our Newcastle actual left back in that position.
Oh,
but,
Lewis.
But yeah, I just thought I'd be a little bit shameless and have a little chat about Anthony Gordon. But just-
I
just
thought
because we can.
at first no, but then I realized the guy does get up and down, so it could
Yeah.
possibly work. I don't see it defensively too much.
Okay,
Mm.
cool. That is the current England chat done. We have a game which is a friendly against Senegal.
Senegal. Yeah, Senegal on Tuesday.
Don't want that like that. Let's change that back to what it was.
Yeah,
So
but
we have a
since
game
Scotland-
against Senegal on Tuesday, which should be interesting to see what team he puts out for that. But finally, what we're going to do is I will edit it behind the scenes and then bring it back up right at the end. But we're going to go through and we are going to pick an all-time England 11.
Yes.
I think some of these positions are going to be pretty straightforward. But question number one, the hardest question of them all. What formation are we picking a team in?
Classic 4-4-2, no?
That would have been my shout.
Classic 4-4-2.
Yeah.
I actually thought you'd be the one going against that, Samir.
I'm almost.
Yeah.
I am fully on board with a classic 4-4-2.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I was going to say like Alf Ramsey's wingless wonders, but I've got two proper wingers in my team. So
okay, fantastic stuff. So right, we will start from the back and work forward.
Mhm.
Goalkeeper. This is one that I always assumed in my head would be Stonewall.
yeah,
It's hard though, isn't it? Like,
I don't think it is very hard at all. I think
it's not.
David Seaman is
oh, okay. Oh,
What?
absolutely
see.
done.
What?
Go on, Stokes. Who you got?
Gordon Banks.
I was going to say that. That's what I was going to say.
I was going to go even more rogue than that.
I was going to go with.
I was going to say Paul Robinson.
Oh,
But no,
I was gonna say Joe
I'm
Hart.
glad I got stocks with David Seaman.
I was going to say.
I was going to say
Oh
Joe
my
Hart.
God. The only thing you could have said to me worse than that would have been Peter Shilton, and I would have truly lost my shit.
That was going to. I was going to bring
So
that. Up.
yeah,
Go on,
Moffat agrees with a 4-4-2. He also agrees with Gordon Banks. And I think he fell for the David Seaman shout as well.
Wait, why
No.
are we laughing
Huh?
at that though? Yeah, David Seaman. I agree.
No. It's got to be Gordon Banks, man. Come on, let's not be silly now.
Yeah.
Make one of the most famous saves.
Let's not be silly now. He's
Let's go with that.
exceptional goalkeeper. I just thought I'd fuck about. I was actually gonna I was gonna chuck out a David James shout or something like that to see how much people was really flying off the handle.
Why not Jordan Pickford, eh?
Joe Hart.
There's
Joe Hart,
levels.
I like it.
There's levels to this. As much as David Seaman was a great goalkeeper, Jordan Banks was like
Yeah.
elite before elite was even a thing in football. He was different.
Yeah, I heard, yeah.
He was different. Right. Fullbacks. Let's start on the left-hand side. Again, another one I don't think there's going to be an awful lot of arguments about. Unless Stocky has someone from the 60s that he wants to
Stocks
put in.
No.
No, but
I'm assuming I've got the same one you two have.
Please
My
tell me you've
my
got
trouble
Ashley
was
Cole.
yeah.
Yeah.
He was generally at a time that we were supposed to have all these world class players. He was world class. I thought.
Yeah. I would go as far to say to say that Ashley Cole is probably one of the best left backs we have ever seen. Full
Yeah.
stop.
I think so too.
Not English. Full stop. He's in the conversation with the best left backs there has been in football. When you're talking top
Who are we?
fives, top 10, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Who
Ashley
is
Cole's in the conversation.
I'd say top 2. So who are we saying top 2? We
Top
put in
two's a
yeah.
lot because you've got players like Roberto
Roberto
Carlos,
Carlos. That's what I'm saying. That's top 2.
Marcelo. Don't forget that Paolo Maldini was a left
Yeah,
back for a very, very long time.
I was
as well, by
about
the
to
way.
say Maldini.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
so to say top 2 straight off the bat like that
because
is
I was
crazy.
thinking Roberto Carlos and Ashley Cole.
Yeah, but when you talk about left backs, you've got to talk about Paolo Maldini.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Top 3 then.
Yeah, and that's before you start going crazy back. But yeah, yeah. But for England, how many caps did he get in the end? He must have been getting like in the 90s, surely. Ashley Cole.
Was it not over 100?
No, I feel like he would have been talked about more, surely.
He might be in the 90s.
The thing is, with everything, 107.
107.
Oh, good on him. Deserves to be a centurion.
Yes, 100%. I think whereas when he was playing, because of the way his transfers went on, I think a lot of people disregarded how good he really was for England.
That was our fault.
Because people just hated him. Like,
that was
the
Arsenal.
whole Arsenal fan base hated him. And then he went to Chelsea, so he was hated by everybody who hated Arsenal initially, and then everybody who hated Chelsea when he was at Chelsea.
That's true.
But the fact of the matter is he was just a joke of a left back.
And he improved so much defensively at Chelsea as well.
Oh, he did.
Even better.
Yeah.
He did, to be fair.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Absolutely nailed on. The other side, I had troubles with.
Oh yeah, that other side is crazy, you know.
It's problematic, isn't it?
But I'm gonna have to go with recency bias, no?
So you
longevity in terms of like how long have we been seeing Carl Walker for the last how many years now?
Oh God, I didn't even. I'll be honest. I still say if he weren't quick, he'd be like playing League One. So I didn't even really think about him. I must admit.
Yeah, but he's at every major tournament. He's been at every major tournament.
Yeah, I know.
He must. How many caps has he got? Jeez.
He's going to be in 90s if he's not already made 100. Surely he's played an awful lot of games for England.
So who else would we have in this conversation? Would we be talking
Gary
Neville,
Glenn Johnson,
severe
Johnson? I want Glenn Johnson in.
Do you want my chat from the past?
So would we be talking about either Cole Walker, Gary Neville, or the 66 winning fullback of Cohen?
Are we missing out?
I would have chucked in Kenny Sampson. I think he got 70 odd caps.
Glenn Johnson, he has like 70 caps.
No, he does not.
I don't know.
70 caps.
He started at West Ham, and I'm still disagreeing with
70 caps. You
he's
reckon
got like
he
50,
had you?
He's got like 50.
So you've taken 20 off already.
57.
54.
Damn it. That's close. That's a lot of caps.
You was close. You started at 70 though. Come on now.
Yeah, that's having as a stretch.
And we have a Man City in the chat that is saying Gary Neville.
He said Neville. By the way. Yeah, that's crazy.
Cool, that must hurt.
Yeah.
That's crazy. No, but you got to be honest, innit? Especially when they're retired.
Absolutely in the conversation.
So,
Glenn Johnson.
are we between? He's really going for Glenn Johnson. So at the minute, are we saying it's between Neville and Walker?
Yeah.
Oh, if we're doing that, then Neville. It's Gary Neville.
Sorry, I'm going Neville as well. Yeah. Sorry, Samir.
Damn, 2-1.
Yeah,
if it's 3-1 because we've got one in the chat as well.
Oh yeah, he said Neville. Yeah, he said Neville. Where's your jacket?
Low Fat's already contributed more than Jack and John already. So.
Yeah. He'll be on the panel within a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
No, we need someone commenting on YouTube.
Okay, so now this is when it starts getting a little bit harder, I feel. We're going to be talking centre-backs next. And
Oh, this is going to be
there
dangerous.
is a long list of very, very good England centre backs.
That's all right. You only have to worry about picking one of them because one's already decided.
So your one that's already decided is
Is?
Bobby Moore.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can't argue with that one.
Yeah, that's it.
You
Stand
can't
down,
argue with
Samir.
that.
Stand
Yeah.
down.
When you said is, I was confused as to what you was going to argue with. Like,
Okay, that's one
confused
side.
me. Yeah. So the other side, you've got
Rio.
Terry, Sol Campbell,
Rio.
Des Walker.
Des Walker. Yeah.
Did Viv Anderson play centre half? I think he did, or was he right back?
I think he played more right back
Right
than
back,
England than
yeah.
he did than he did at centre back. To be honest.
Yeah. A certain vintage would say like Butcher. You've got Jack Charlton.
Tony Adams.
Tony Adams, yeah. It always felt like for me, because obviously after 90, we weren't in 94, so it just felt like he went straight to Euro 96. And obviously he was all planned for Arsenal the whole time then. Just felt like he didn't play as much at England as you would assume.
Yeah, I don't think he did, to be fair.
But I bet he got loads of caps.
Yeah, I reckon Tony Adams got a very decent amount of caps.
Good question. 20s?
What do you reckon, Samir?
What's that, in the 20s?
No. Double that.
Even more, yeah? Nah, I don't know.
Double that. 66. Triple it even. Yeah, 66.
Damn.
Yeah, I suppose Adams is a shot. I'll be honest.
I love
in my one, I went Ferdinand with a special mention for Des Walker.
So we're going Rio, yeah?
Yeah,
I would have gone Rio. He would have been in pretty instantly for me, to be fair.
Yeah, I went for them too quickly. I'd say Moore and Ferdinand.
Okay, right. The engine room. This is always my favourite position to talk about.
The list.
This list is crazy. Crazy. So you've got the obvious three for recency. You've got Gerrard, Lampard, Scholes.
Is that recency?
Well, it's the most recent batch that you could put in this conversation.
What you going for Hendo or something like that? Gareth Barry, Jake Livermore.
James Milner. Put James Milner in there.
Then you've also obviously got the likes of Bobby Charlton, Paul Gascoigne, Glenn Hoddle, Brian Robson.
Oh, that's a shout. That's a shout.
Who else? You could argue Ince, Carrick, Wilkins, Waddle. There's so many players.
Nobby Styles.
Platt. There's so many players. Peters. There's so many players that you could list in this conversation.
I'm going to start, and I don't know if we could argue too much, but I'm going to start with Gerrard. I don't know who's going to be next to him, but I'm going to start with Stevie. There we go. I'm going to start with Stevie.
See, this is where I'm torn, yeah? Because I would also like to put Steven Gerrard in. But
right.
my one that I feel has to be there is Paul Gascoigne.
He could be next to Stevie G.
I still believe that he is the most gifted player we have ever produced.
Yeah.
Ever. So I don't feel like I can put a team together without him in it.
I think we've picked our two. And that quick.
Stocky's very quiet.
Yeah, I think we've picked our two.
He's contemplating something here because we're looking at a two that I don't feel he's got.
Oh, he's got his name in the back of the shirt up.
Hey, so he's agreeing.
Right. Gascoigne, but I'm going to chuck a spanner in the works. And I said Charlton as the other centre midfielder.
It's a tough one, isn't it?
But
United fans
I did have Gerrard there.
It's a very tough one.
I love Gerrard, man. I didn't see Bobby Charlton, but
no, neither did I. I ain't that fucking old to me.
I wasn't really saying that, but Yeah. So I know it's just off like namesake, innit? Everyone talks about something like Paul Gascoigne. I barely
Right.
remember
I,
namesake has to be
I'd be
on.
happy to wield on Charlton because I'm going to be very obtuse with with the wide players.
I'm going Gerard, man. Mitch.
Okay. It's tough, man. Bobby Charlton also won the World Cup, by the way.
Oh, come on. Oh, come on. You didn't have to say
World
that.
Cup, European Cup, Ballon d'Or.
Shit.
He survived a plane crash, bro.
Shit.
Like,
Oh, shit.
come on.
Oh.
I don't think I can
You
overlook
can't
it.
leave Gerard out, though. That's the thing, though.
Yeah, but look at the
Unless you want to play him
players
on the
we're
right.
going about. Like, really?
Unless you want to play Gerard on the right.
Nah.
We can't leave Gerard out.
Man, it's hard.
But you did hit us with the shit. He's won Ballon d'Or.
It's hard, man.
He's won the World Cup himself. So, yeesh.
It's hard to like as much as he's a player we've never seen. When you look at the list of stuff that he actually did as a player,
Yeah.
like, and he won. I'm pretty sure he was one of the Man United players that won the Ballon d'Or. 3 of them won it back to back, and it was 3 different players.
Yeah, it was best Charlton law.
Yeah, all playing in the same team, and they won it back to back to back. So for him to win it after 2 of his whenever 2 of his teammates has won it, whether he won it in the middle or first or last or what, is just crazy. But I love Stevie G, man. Do you know when you're a kid and you're just about to shoot and you scream a player's name? A lot of the time it's Steven Gerrard.
Gerrard.
Low Fat Moffat's not happy either. He's like, "How you leaving Stevie G?"
Yeah, see?
Okay, all
he
right,
swallowed.
all right.
He swallowed the Man United thing for Neville. He ain't doing it again with Charlton.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll go Gerrard. We'll go Stevie
We
G.
go Stevie G, man.
We'll go
RIP.
Stevie G. Just on the basis that none of us are actually old enough to have watched Charlton.
Yeah.
And we all saw how brilliant Gerrard was firsthand. So,
For club and country.
Yeah. Okay, Stevie Gerrard is in. Right. I feel that these next 2 are probably the hardest 2 positions.
You going right and left? Right and left. I think the left will be hard. I think the right is.
Yeah, I think they're both hard. So right hand side. Let's go right hand side first. Yeah. So I want to hear your 2 suggestions first before we do anything else.
David Becks.
Okay, which is it's a big shout.
David Becks, man, just for like what he has to his game and what he's done. I'd say David Becks.
Okay. So Stocky, you said you're going to be pretty adamant.
He's going Bowen. He's going Bowen. He's going Bowen.
Not for England, sadly. Sir Stanley Matthews.
Why'd you have to put a sir in there? I know his name.
Because he's a sir. He's got an FA Cup final named after him.
Beckham's about to be a sir.
Beckham won't be a sir for another 6 months, so we can't even...
Yeah, no, but he's about to be. You might as well call him Sir David Beckham now. So.
No, we can't. He hasn't been knighted yet.
Yeah, but still, you just call him in advance, isn't it? 6 months.
I read something that Stanley Matthews was the first Ballon d'Or winner as well. I mean, because these things may sway you, Samir.
They do.
He was of the time. He was notoriously world class, innovative dribbler. I know, it means absolutely naffle in modern football context, and that we've seen a lot more of a lot of other players, but he was widely regarded as one of the best players in the world at the time. And I think he's the oldest outfield player, or maybe oldest person to be capped by England. He was capped in 41, capped at the age of 41 still as an outfield player.
That's mad. All I can say is Greece. What year was that? 2000? 2001?
It was around that time, but
The
like,
greatest day of our lives.
no, it wasn't the greatest day of my life. Let's not do that.
No, just me.
No,
I watched that
let's
thing.
not do that.
It
Please.
came out on video, and we watched that thing over and over.
I've only seen that goal back. I haven't I haven't got a video of it. Never thought about getting a video
I
of
didn't.
it
I didn't have a
ever
video.
in my whole entire life. So
Someone else had a video of it, but I watched it. But it was. We watched it over and over and that celebration was iconic.
the celebration was iconic, but we're talking about Stanley Matthews.
I don't know. Yeah, but I
How
don't
are
know.
we talking about like
David Beckham. I know David Beckham.
That's fair though. That's fair
Number
enough.
7, El Capitan. Huh? El Capitan.
no,
He
I
scored a
can't.
penalty against Argentina.
Yeah, no. But he also missed a penalty against Argentina as well, by the
Yeah,
way.
because the penalty spot was up there.
Yeah, no, I can't look past Stanley Matthews on this one.
What?
I think you're gonna get outnumbered here.
I hate
think
this.
you're
You
gonna
gotta have the. Where's Low Fat at?
Yeah.
What do you want to see what low fat says?
Who's he gone for?
Hold that.
Oh, here we go. We said 3 Man United players. We said 3.
Hold that. It made him puke, so
Three
no
Man United
Beckham
players.
for you. Get out of here. Right, we're with Stanley Matthews on the right, left hand side.
This was so difficult.
I said that. I thought.
I had a
don't
name
think
that came to
Joey.
my head instantly.
Joey.
No, he's going to say John Barnes.
No,
Yeah.
he was second on my list. Number one on my list is Steve McManaman.
Yeah.
I definitely thought about Steve McManaman myself. I also sort of kind of shoehorned Chris Waddle out there.
Joey.
Joey is in Joey Cole.
Joey Cole.
Nah.
Nah, sadly not.
Love Joe
He's
Cole,
good.
brilliant player, but
Sweden.
love him, brilliant player, but not this level.
You took the names, and I'm like, fuck.
even McManaman, I was like, I had Barnes above McManaman, but I went for another player of long ago in Tom Finney, and I'm not even actually sure he played on the left, but
I'm out there.
I'm not.
He's just picking names.
No, you can Google Tom Finney. I think he was like a winger forward, so I picked him on the left because. But it was close with him and Barnes. I would have had Barnes above McManaman myself, but I've just gone Tom Finney because I just thought I'd be awkward. As soon as you said all time, I knew I was going to try and get as older players as I could.
When I had a look at the
Stocky's
internet.
chucking out loads of pre-World Cup win names as well. These guys didn't even win the World Cup. They're that old.
Yeah. Mate, this is my chance to go full nerd.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I can't let it slip through my fingers. I've been talking about £100 million transfers. This is more me.
We're back down there again. That's so true.
I disagree with Tom Finney, but I could concede.
I strongly disagree with that.
I could concede McManaman for John Barnes.
Yeah. But that again, Waddle. Was Hoddle on the left, or was he a centre midfielder? I don't know. I knew he was amazing, but I don't actually know where he played.
Oh, like attacking.
They could play both. It was weird because they could both sort of do a bit of everything. So I think Hoddle more than Waddle got floated around all over the place. I think the bulk of his career was more of a central player than a wide player, though. But Waddle's a great shout. That is a fantastic shout. But I would go Barnes over Waddle.
Yeah,
it's
really close.
I'm gonna go Barnes as well.
It's gonna feel weird putting him out there though, because I want to put the number 10 shirt on him. But I'm gonna have to go 11. He's gonna have to be the 11 dog. Right, we have 2 front men to pick.
Oh no, this is hard. I just realised that. This is chaotic. This is mad.
This is crazy.
Oh my days! I just realised how bad that is. It would have been fucked if it was one.
Yeah, that's why I went 4-4-2, just so we could have two
I was
so
strikers.
that
lucky.
we
Yeah,
could
I was
have
lucky
two.
with
Yeah.
4-4-2 because this is crazy.
Right. So there's a long list of names we could go for this. Like stupidly long, all the way back to like a Nat Loft House type of thing. Dixie Dean, Tom Finney again, Shearer, Greaves, Rooney, Kane,
Mikel
Keegan,
Owen,
Lineker,
Mikel.
Lineker, yeah,
Beardsley,
Beardsley, yeah.
Keegan.
Yeah, there's a long old list of names you could chuck at this. Even just off the back of a hat trick in a final, Jeff Hurst,
Yeah,
Roger Hunt, Ian Wright,
yeah.
Yeah,
Jimmy
right.
Greaves.
Michael Owen. Like,
Mikel Owen. See, I'm gonna go with, like, my favorite England striker, Mikel Owen.
you're going Michael Owen.
I'm going Mikel Owen
I'm sorry, but I'm vetoing Michael Owen straight away.
because you're gonna go for Shearer. That's why. Why? Just because he left.
I'm sorry, but
No, we're talking for England, okay? We're not talking club football. We're talking
I
England.
do not care. If we're
Mikel Owen.
going strikers for England and we're going two up top, there is
Mikel, man.
3 players I'm having over Michael Owen. Shearer, Rooney, and Kane. All go over Michael Owen for me.
Okay.
The only other player I feel is fully in this conversation is Jimmy Greaves.
Kane over Mikel Owen.
Yes, 100% Kane over Michael Owen.
I don't know, man.
The question is
Owen was dangerous,
basically
no?
the question should really be who is the strike partner of Jimmy Greaves up front for this England team.
Is it?
Yeah,
Is it?
yes.
I mean, we got the all-time top scorer as in Wayne Rooney, and we got the second all-time in Kane, which I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I think that answers everything.
How does that? No.
We got two of the leading scorers, Rooney and Kane.
That's just a recency thing, man. Come on now.
Rooney and Owen.
No.
I tried. Stocks.
Owen is not going in this team.
Why?
There's no way Michael Owen goes in this team.
No way, though.
There's
He's
no
like third, though. Is he not third all-time top scorer?
Mate, he wouldn't make my squad. He wouldn't make the 30-man squad before you pick the 23-man squad.
You made me sick. Michael Owen.
Yes, Michael Owen.
He was lethal. Are we not? Remember how
I
dangerous?
remember how lethal Michael Owen was. And
Yes.
I loved Michael Owen as a football player.
Yeah.
But he is not getting in this team. So listen, how do you want to base this? Do you want to base it on number of goals? Do you want to base it on strike?
I won't even talk about goals. I think goals and the player himself. I think fuck Shearer.
Okay, well, if we're taking Shearer out, we're definitely not having Michael Owen. Straight. Standard. Jimmy Greaves is going in, for one. And Michael Owen, in fact, is 6th on the all-time top scorer list.
He's 6th?
6th, yeah.
That's good, man.
And out of the top 6, he's played the 4th most games, I think, by the looks of things. But Greaves is going in because he got 44 goals in 57 games. I'm not even having that as a conversation now.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
That's before you consider the amount of goals he got at club level and just being like ridiculous of the time.
Yeah, Greaves was always going in, but now I've seen that
But then now we're gonna have to leave either Wayne Rooney or Harry Kane off.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh wow!
I have no problem with that if Jimmy Greaves is going in. Why would that be an issue?
Because they're the two all-time goats, no?
For me, as I've got a Jimmy Greaves, I would be going Rooney. For me. But there's a discussion to be had.
In major tournaments, though, Rooney wasn't great.
Oh, look at this. Look, see. I'm liking Moffat even more.
No, we take Shearer out. Shearer out.
Oh, look. Next one as well.
No, Shearer's out.
He's gone Kane over Rooney, but Shearer over both of them.
No, he's talking about club Shearer. I mean, Shearer was alright for England, but not like the greatest from what I remember.
Well, his strike rate was pretty exceptional.
If we talk about major tournaments, Kane is over all of them. In major tournaments.
What, the human stat pad?
Yes, we stat pad up in here. we stat pad up
That
here.
was for you, John. That was for
We
you.
were killing Rooney because Rooney weren't doing it in the big stage apart from like Euro 2004.
Right, we're gonna have to narrow this down somehow, some way.
It's hard. It's hard.
Somehow, some way. I feel that Wayne Rooney was the best player of these three that we seem to now be talking about.
Yeah. But I like the major tournaments has got to stand out now, isn't it? It's got to stand out for us. Who's done better in Euros and World Cup?
What was Kane's best tournament then? Wait, no. So if we're talking about who stands out in a tournament, then Rooney basically carried us for a tournament that we would have won until he got injured.
Yeah, and Euros, and then
Kane had a ridiculous Euro '96 as well.
Shearer had a ridiculous Euro '96.
Shearer even had a ridiculous Euro '96. Sorry,
Yeah,
and Lineker finished top scorer in a World Cup for fuck's sake.
What
are we doing here?
And didn't he get? Was he top scorer at 2? He definitely got 1 golden boot. Did he get 2, or was that?
I think he got 1 outright and 1 that he drew.
Which one of them got to a semi-final and a final?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. Harry, what am I doing? I don't. Fuck Harry.
Why are you arguing so hard?
Yeah, I'm saying, what am I doing? I just realized I'm praising this guy.
Munich fan is some
Yeah, I'm a Bayern Munich fan. That's it. There we go. Thank you, Stuff. Saved me. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Kane. And Captain.
That's awkward then, because all 3 of us are going different ones.
Ooh, look, I just said Rooney was pants.
But Lineker was top goal scorer.
Yeah. So was
I just like Shearer because he's a bit.
Yeah, so was Kane. Kane in the World Cup was top scorer.
I feel like I've got to go Shearer. If we're talking Shearer or Kane, I'm going Shearer. Straight.
Yeah.
For England.
Yeah. For anyone. For Belgium, for Morocco, Kazakhstan. I don't care. I'm going Shearer over Kane. I don't care who it's for. Yeah, I'm not phased about the criteria. I'm going Shearer, mate. Honestly.
Every time you say Shearer, I just feel like it's a Newcastle thing.
It's not.
It's genuinely not. Like I've only just
done more for England than Harry Kane has.
I have only just switched to say Shearer.
Like, I know none of them has not really done anything, but who's actually done more for England?
Well, if we're going to say who's done the most for England, we're going to go Jeff Hurst because he's got a hat-trick in a final. Like, if that's the criteria we're going on, then we're going Jeff Hurst.
But it's not.
Then
it's not.
Now we're going 2 players we haven't seen.
We're going about who would we rather have in this team that we're picking right now to play next to Jimmy Greaves up front for England, and I'm saying Alan Shearer.
No, when you put it like that, I'm looking at football sense now. When you put it like that, yeah, I might have to go Shearer. I'm trying to think. I was thinking impact. I'm like, yeah.
Kevin Keegan got to mention. Kevin Keegan also won a Ballon d'Or as well, I think, by the way. So, yeah. It's tough to leave out players like that, but
we never mentioned him. Oh no, we did once.
We did. When we was listing off the list of names, he's right up there. But I think he's just behind this bracket of players we're talking about. To be honest,
I've mentioned Michael Owens like 20 times. So.
Yeah, but you're just
Michael Owens over Kane. Yes.
No.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, but no.
What?
If we're saying Rooney done nothing for England, Michael Owen done equally as little.
He had some big moments though. Was it Argentina?
That's one tournament when he was like 18.
He had a good 2002 World Cup.
Same as Rooney, one tournament. Yeah, but that was Rooney's tournament.
2002. Rooney went there.
Was that not Rooney's tournament? Or was
Nah,
that 2004?
yeah, Rooney was Euros 2004.
Alright.
World Cup. I remember him scoring. Was it Brazil? Scored the first goal.
I don't know. I can't
Yeah.
remember. But yeah, right. I think we're sold on this now. Even though Samir's
Michael Owen.
no, go to sleep, Michael Owen. What's wrong with you, Michael Owen? Right. I don't even know how to get it front and center again. Let's go there. Is it that one? And then that goes. Yeah, boom. There we go. I don't even know if people can see that, but it's there.
I'm not gonna lie, guys.
I
Looking
don't
on
think we argued enough for
team.
Lineker, to be honest.
this is an awful team.
We probably didn't argue enough on Lineker, but we've ended up with Gordon Banks in goal, Ashley Cole left back, Bobby Moore, Rio Ferdinand in the middle, Gary Neville right back, Stephen Gerrard, Paul Gascoigne as your central midfielders, John Barnes, Stanley Matthews, Jimmy Greaves, and Alan Shearer.
That's not bad. I don't know
It's a decent team.
2 of these players, 3, but yeah, that's not bad.
It's a decent side.
What a first now, but yeah, that's not bad.
Move that from the scene. Back to this. And this is what Moffat would have in that order is Shearer, Kane, Owen Lineker.
Lineker, Hurricane, Owen Lineker. That's not bad.
In that order.
I'll
And
top 10 Owen for me.
And he says, that's a great team. So much appreciated. Thank
Yeah.
you for all of the chats, Moffat.
Honestly, man,
It's
thank you.
always good to have an active chat. It makes the show even more fun and interactive.
Yeah.
So please come back next week, 9 o'clock. We will definitely be back at the same time as we always are. I will be back on Tuesday, Toon Tactics TV, and then Wednesday on Spurs Kings TV, both at 10 p.m. start. So if you want to catch me there, I'll be there. If not, we're back 9 o'clock next week. Where the owls sleep, the Parliament. Hopefully, get a full Parliament next week.
Mm.
And Moffat, love for that. Much appreciated, sir.
Thank
You've
you.
been an absolute star of
Honestly,
today's
you've been
show.
part of the show, man.
Yeah, been an absolute star today. Hopefully, see you next week, mate. Anybody else? Like, share, subscribe. We are also now on Spotify. So tomorrow morning, the show will be on there for those that just like to listen and not watch. So check that out.